Go. All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Code's Corner, but not really, virtual Code's Corner, Quest for the Core board game. I am your normal host, Cody McCloris, joined today by the Imperator
Hello.
and guest star John McFunkster, as usual. Okay, so it's
Well then.
gonna be a fun mission that I have planned for all three of us, I suppose, today. Um, Let me see. Okay, so the scene is set in a cold, very brightly lit conference room on some upper floor of the JPCU headquarters in New Orleans, Louisiana. And the three of
New
us,
Wall.
yeah, New Orleans, the three of us are seated at various spots at this conference table, as we have many times previous, uh, just chilling out and waiting for the mission briefing to begin.
Alright, very well.
Probably 5-10 minutes goes by. We're just waiting there. There's probably some like elevator music playing over the room speakers, and the glass door opens up slowly, and one Agent Heather McLafferty walks in the door. She is our handler. She gives us our missions, even though like I'm pretty sure like two of us outrank her technically. But she is still
Yeah, I do outrank her.
she is still like the mission giver. I guess she's like in the acquisitions
She's our
department.
CIA handler. Let's say that.
Yeah, essentially. Um, and she is probably like 6 foot something, very
God.
very well built. She got a big old scar over one of her eyes and her face. She got short, cropped, like lighter grayish blonde hair. Probably in her like,
So the picture of woman empowerment.
I mean, yeah. Except that like she's probably also magical. You just have no idea.
Basically, the picture of woman.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright.
And yeah, so she enters holding a like manila folder underneath her arm, like a cup of coffee because it is pretty early in the morning. Um, and yeah,
I'm gonna like stand up and say, barrel of laughs, how are you? It's been too long.
she just kind of like stops mid stride and kind of like looks you up and down and goes, "Ah, yes, Dr. Hellsing, always a pleasure to be assigned to your cases." And then she just kind of like brushes past you almost and walks over to the head of the table and plops a manila folder down. And Dr. Bostonbrook, he stands up and shakes her hand and stuff, and is of course polite. And the two of them are like friends, I guess.
I
They're
want to make it
closer.
clear that I was going for a hug there.
Oh yeah, she just totally like walks right past you.
Okay.
Like she's just like, you know what, I don't want to do that with you today, and just mm,
The one time I'm friendly.
because
The
no
one
because
time.
she knows, knowing you plan to put a dagger in her spine, so
Oh, what? What? No. No.
and off in the
I
corner,
never.
in like a specialized like wheelchair, like chained to the wheelchair, is a very strange individual, uh, who's like has like the weird
Shit
like
my
face
cape.
mask on. He's got the beeping
So
collar on his neck and stuff, and that's our
I'm
lovely
gonna
friend.
like I'm gonna take my seat back and then shift my.
Alrighty, so
Xuzoxen?
the question becomes, is he there?
He's just playing out the mystique. It's fine.
Yeah. He's playing the silent and brooding one in the corner, in like the shadowy
This
corner.
is gonna be. This is
I'm going to start
hilarious.
shaking and rattling the chains because why not?
So, the clinically insane demon man in the corner begins writhing uncontrollably in his chair.
He's having a seizure. Everybody calm down. I'm a doctor.
So as soon as he starts doing that, like the car starts like beeping or whatever, tell him that like he's like struggling or like resisting, and then like the door opens up and a really large, kind-faced man in nurse's clothes walks in with a massive needle and just like stabs it into his chest, and he stops writhing.
Kind face man.
Well, yeah, he's a nice-looking dude, like friendly.
Is this a man of a kind face,
Yes.
or a man that is just a kind face?
No, he is a man with a kind face. He's not a
Okay,
floating
okay.
baby head.
I was gonna say a head with legs.
No, that's the wrong character.
Oh my god.
So Agent McLafferty, she opens up the manila folder, and she kind of spreads out some like documents over the her part of the table, and she like searches through it, takes one out, and puts it on top, and it's a death certificate. And she says, "Are any of you familiar with one Mr. Robert Chamberlain?"
I'm gonna make my check.
Yeah, that'd just be flat intelligence. Bostonbrook's gonna make one as well. It's a D100.
3. That's fine.
Bostonbrook got a 10, so a 3 still passes for you because you're intelligent, but Bostonbrook got a
there.
10. Off to a good start today.
So I know the name.
Yeah,
like,
you. Well, I mean, to not know the name would be more impressive than knowing it. What did X get on his lovely check?
Oh, that's gonna be a 7.
7. All right, so that should, I believe, be a pass for. Because I have the character sheets in the notebook section as well. So if you need to look at those, I have that there.
I was gonna say here.
Yep, that's a pass for all of us. Okay. So, surprisingly, Half Demon Warlock Man manages to know more about this guy than the doctor whose job it is to manage the paranormal community, but that's fine. That's...
You know what? You know what? I'm not gonna. Okay.
So,
If I'm really not needed, bring my services elsewhere. I don't need to take this. I'm gonna go for a walk.
oh god, don't go for a walk. So Bostonbrook gets a natural 10. So he knows everything. He just like personally knows this man. So you, all of us would know him because he is a local billionaire.
Oh.
Local billionaire.
I pay
Yes,
no
local
offense
billionaire.
to billionaire.
As in, he lives locally, but like, basically he became rich because he ended up discovering some ancient sites down in Mexico and sold the magical artifacts for a butt ton of money. And he became a like paranormal like philanthropist, and he makes massive donations to JPCU, and that's where Hellsing knows him from because he gives millions of dollars in donations to the JPCU, like on the
to
regular.
my research. To my research.
Yeah, just like casually, like every couple
Quote,
of weeks or
unquote,
whatever, you get like $10 million.
You mean the torturing of all of faith?
Yeah, essentially.
I
Now,
do have code. Yeah.
Mr. Xuzoxen, he knows this name because he, well, actually, being in the cult community, um, he might know that, like, Mr. Chamberlain was also a very prolific collector of some very dangerous paranormal and magical artifacts that would probably be desired by a lot of very powerful cults because they're all like demonic or extra dimensional entities or, you know, like he was the real deal. Like he makes Bostonbrook look like chump change, which is saying something because Bostonbrook's like number 2 in the world.
So this guy is basically number one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Bostonbrook, he of course knows this guy personally, and he goes, "Ah, yes, my competition." And Milafa just kind of like
All right.
smirks at him.
You calm down.
So she says,
That
yes,
that does kind of make Boston Brook.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he would be happy about that. So Buster was kind of like smiling to hear about this dude having died, and
Oh. So JVH is kind of like, this is bad, right? This is basically our budget being cut off. This is not good. He supplies a lot of our income. uh, so yeah. How did he die? I'm gonna like take the report and look it over because JVH would be none too blessed to hear this. So yeah, I'm gonna look over the death report.
so the death certificate says that he died of natural causes, but the handler lady, she basically like looks over that and kind of like says like, yeah, no, we don't think that's actually true.
Do we have any clues?
Pardon?
I said, do we have any clues?
She says that as of right now, there is no information on like how exactly he died because Mr. Chamberlain's lawyer, a private family like lawyer that the family hired many years ago to like go over it and like go over the will, is very protective of Mr. Chamberlain's properties and information. And so even though the autopsy says that he died of natural causes, obviously the
If
JPCU
it was
like knows better. Essentially, it's like
okay,
common knowledge that he probably didn't die of like natural causes, considering the kind of person he was. But at the same time, we can't get any information because the lawyer is being a jerk.
I'm gonna take an educated guess here, and I'm gonna roll for it.
Sure.
Is there any deformation to the body? Like, is there a picture of the body?
Um,
I'd assume so, right?
I'm gonna roll a thing. Yes, there is. She gives you like the full autopsy report and stuff because you're a doctor, so you would know this stuff. So
Okay,
she gives you the
so
full report.
I'm gonna take a look over the picture,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no deformations or anything, right?
Not of the face, no.
Of the body?
The body. Make me a perception check.
5. My perception's 8.
There. Well, I mean, I hope you pass this. There looks to be like a along like what's the part of that body? The part the sternum, like right dead center in the chest.
Sternum. Yep.
There is what looks to be like a black, almost like an infection, and it's like a line, like a slit down the center of his sternum. About probably like 2 inches long.
I'm gonna make an educated guess here, and go with ugh.
So
I'm gonna say unholy poison.
yeah. So you don't
Oh wait,
know.
intelligence.
exactly what this is, but judging by like the location
I
and
have an idea.
okay, yeah, sure, give it to me.
Well, it's either we're dealing with a chest breaker here, and something popped out of this man's chest and was kind enough to seal it back up afterward. Um, or this is unholy poison, and in a matter of, well, give me a time frame here, he could be very, very uh, contaminated, and if this spreads the rest of his body, like I think it will, then we
Um,
will be looking at a very large problem.
yeah, there are like little like black spindles coming off the main line. I've seen. I don't like. I
Okay.
mean, it's a still
Yeah.
photo, so you can't tell like what it actually is. But judging by
I've
like,
seen things similar, but nothing like
yeah, you've probably seen similar-ish techniques.
cases.
Because you're
Yeah.
actually Boston's gonna give you a help action. He's gonna. Yep. Okay. So Bostonbrook,
Bostonbrook, take a look.
you kind of say like, oh, this could be like a strange kind of poison, and then Bostonbrook looks it over, and goes, well, you're not wrong. Um, and he says like, this looks more like somebody stabbed him with some weird, like magical dagger, because that looked like a cut on his chest.
All right, so we're not dealing with chest-bursting demons. That's a good thing.
Indeed, progress.
This is true.
So yeah, so
All right, we need to find this body as soon as possible and make our own autopsy.
So Agent McLafferty says, "Well, you can do that, but we have some more pressing matters to deal with." The lawyer I mentioned says that in Mr. Chamberlain's will, he has left all of his property and assets to the JPCU.
I'm gonna be like taking a sip of my coffee and then spit it out.
Yeah, Bostonbrook is taking. He has like a mug of tea, and he was mid pouring in like a flask of whiskey into it, and then like he kind of like twitches and like spills the whiskey over the table and stuff. And
He what? You're gonna have to say that again. I think I'm a little bit hard of hearing right
she like straight up pulls out like a printed out email from the lawyer, who is named Mr. Wesley Brewer, and he in the email it says like under Mr. Chamberlain's will, estimated worth of $8 billion, he is handed over ownership instead of his family, who are still alive. He's giving ownership to the JPCU of all of his assets and property.
Wow.
Oh.
Which is like that's like that his collection would probably like double the JPCU's current collection of artifacts.
So my boy JVH is kind of gonna go. Oh.
Can you imagine that? It's like,
Oh.
Yeah, this would be like if Jeff Bezos gave like, I don't know, some like local bagel shop all of his business.
sorry,
Oh,
son, you're not getting any of your inheritance. I'm giving it all to
This mysterious
the
company that
government.
you know nothing about.
Yeah, this shadow corporation operating out of New Orleans. Yeah.
Basically.
So she says, so that's not the weirdest part about all this.
So let me summarize this. We just went from startup company to worldwide corporation in about 5 seconds.
Pretty much, yeah, because this dude died of some kind of
All because
unnatural
someone died.
circumstance. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so basically, like the Chamberlain family has been a primary donator to JBCU for many, many years, and is probably responsible for a lot of like probably the property you're on used to be a Chamberlain property. Then he sold it to you. So
For like $5.
yeah, something really, really cheap. So Agent Lafferty says that that isn't the weirdest part about all this. If you think that that's where like the weird stops. So as per the law, a team of agents have to go to Mr. Brewer's offices and like read over the will and sign over the paperwork for all the different deeds of the properties and handle all that stuff. So about 3 days ago, they sent a team to one of the Chamberlain properties in downtown New Orleans, not too far from the headquarters, to give the lawyer his 5 cents and like sign over the paperwork. And essentially, they never came back. It's been 3 days. They haven't come back.
Interesting.
So Agent McLafferty says that it's our job to go to this house, find and like read over the will, take ownership of the properties, all that stuff, finalize the transaction, figure out what happened to those people that we sent before them that are now not like among the living or something. We haven't heard from them in 3 days. And then
They
also,
are no longer here.
it is our job, because there's magic involved, we have to visit every single one of the Chamberlain properties and make sure that they're up to code, essentially.
Okay.
But she says, first things first, here's the address of the house where the lawyer was supposed to be 3 days ago. And just like go there, figure out what the heck's going on, and just like find out what happened to like 4 or 5 people that we sent before you guys and haven't heard back from them.
That's gonna lead into my next question. Who's he?
Huh?
And why is he in this?
I'm gonna stare down, fucking the doctor with my weird
1,000-yard stare that you'll never forget.
So the strange chained up in a wheelchair, very pale, average height, marginally overweight, man in like bright orange prison jumpsuit is now staring down the man with bright red John Lennon glasses, a black lab coat, and a rapier around his hip across the room. And then in the middle is Bostonbrook sipping his tea as daggers get stared at like in front of him. So you ask Miss McLafferty, like, what's this like thing doing here? And she says, well, it's part of this like new initiative that we're trying. We believe that some of our subjects we have in containment can be used as weaponry against the forces of chaos and corruption and evil. So,
Now, I'm not judging your decision. I'm judging your motives and the thought process here. Why?
Because we don't have enough investigators to cover the workload, so we need more of them, and we have a bunch of humanoid prisoners in the basement of this building, and he's one of them, and we figure we can use him if we can like keep them in check. And she hands you a small, what looks like it could be like an iPod almost, and it's the detonator to his Totenkragen collar.
See, now, McLafferty,
Mm-hmm.
if this comes back and bites us in the ass, I am going to be the first one on that line to say I told you so. I hope you know that. I just want you to know that. Nothing against you, but I'm going to be the first one to say this is a bad idea.
She kind of like looks at you holding the detonator in her hand, like outstretched in front of her, and she just kind of like shakes her head like this familiar, says, just take the bloody detonator and don't kill him preemptively. And then she just kind of like walks out.
I'm going to go over and I am going to secure the detonator.
Okay. Yeah, so
I don't know if I trust this shifty character in this wheelchair yet. this possibly vegetated humanoid being.
Yeah, so you walk over. Um, it's certainly a scary visage that you look back at, covered in chains and like wrapped up in a wheelchair. Um, and yeah, so you guys were free to go if you want to find the body. You can find the body, or you can now go to this address and like question the lawyer and stuff.
All right. Well, I vote we find the body first. If this is something that can be spread, it might be spread already, and we might be too late. But if it's not, then we can stop it. And if we can stop them from doing any further autopsy, well, then I suggest we do it. We need to seal off the area. If this can be spread, it will.
Okie dokie. Yeah, Boston would say probably like, yeah, if he obviously didn't die of like natural stuff, so you should probably go figure out like what's that all about. Um, and are you gonna try to like wheel the chained up wheelchair bound man?
Do I have a key to it?
I need the plug.
Like all the wheelchair stuff?
Pardon?
Do I have like a way to like get the chains and everything off of him?
Yeah, you were given like
A key?
a master key, yeah.
I'm gonna go over to him and look him dead in the eye, wheel his wheelchair towards me, and then forcibly put my hand on the arm of the wheelchair, and I'm going to look him dead in the eye with the key next to me. And I'm going to tell him, look, taking a chance here. You stab me in the back, I will make you suffer. Am I understood?
I guess I nod, but I still stare him down.
So you nod.
It's
you,
just
like, keep your
daggers back and
eyes-
forth.
Yeah. And now Bostonbrook is still sitting at the conference table. He hasn't moved at all. He's just kind of like watching this happen from across the room, sipping his tea. Kind of like,
I'm gonna draw out my lighter and put it under his chin while I unlock his seat, indicating that if he moves, will not survive.
Okay, so it takes like a good like 5 minutes to undo all the different chains and the locks and like the tumblers and all the different, bajillion and one
Tumbler.
security measures, to make sure that like this dude is safe, and the last one, of course, being the face mask to keep him from talking. And now,
All right, well,
our demon man is free to do as he pleases.
that's it. All you're gonna say?
Bostonbrook is he's gonna stand up and walk over to the growling, dagger shooting, warlock man, and extend a nice hand out and handshake.
I look at this man's hand,
Okay.
and I look up at him, and I'm like, is this some kind of trick?
Oh God, this is
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
keep my hand gently rested on my rapier.
Bostonbrook looks down at his own hand, now kind of confused, as if there might be a trick that he's trying to play on you, but hasn't realized it. And then he looks back up to the warlock man and just kind of like retracts his handshake.
All right, well, time for pleasantries is over. Let's go.
Pardon?
I said the time for pleasantries is over. Let's go. We need to move. At this point, the tone shifts, and JVH is very on edge, as
Okay.
he would be, especially with a unknown burial on the field and a dead body that might be spreading demonic diseases.
Okay. Yeah. So Bostonbrook kind of like puts his hand down, and or no, he kind of like awkwardly like turns the handshake into like, oh, I was looking at my watch the whole time, you know. And then
Yeah, I like that. I like.
and then he's
I
like,
was
okay,
gonna
yeah.
say he like looks at his head and then just quickly puts both of them in his pockets.
Yeah, so then he grabs his wide-brimmed fedora cap and his trench coat, and the three of you march off down the hallway towards like the building's morgue, I guess.
Bostonbrook, uh, tell the teams to pack the quarantine gear.
As usual, then, sir. And he just kind of like takes out like a cell phone and like texts somebody, you know.
How millennial of you.
Well, he was born in like I think the year would have to be like 20 no it's like 2000. So he's like our generation.
Bostonbrook, I expected more.
And yeah, so probably 5 minutes or so, you walk down the hallway, hit some elevators, and
So we are moving to this asset, correct?
yes, yes,
So this asset is in the county.
yeah, and
Okay.
so so you walk out of the gigantic skyscraper that is JPCU headquarters, and there's like the private limousine there, and the back door automatically swings open without anybody touching it, and the window rolls down, and the driver looks out, and he's like, Dr. Hellsing, that's Bostonbrook, demonic warlock man, nice to have you. Where are we going, gentlemen?
I'm going to adjust my sunglasses and sit with my hands over my lap, and I'm gonna have him bring us to. I'm gonna tell
Alrighty.
shortest route there.
Okay, so yeah, so he's like, all right, sounds like a plan, sir, and he starts the limousine. And about 10 minutes later, you arrive at the county morgue. You
Now,
pull up.
is the
Yeah. Go ahead.
so,
Yeah.
so the containment team is like all.
Yeah. They would have. They're already there. You pull up and there's like the big armored black van with like the biohazard symbol on the side and stuff like that. And they're all standing around putting on their like specialized biohazard suits, and they're like militarized biohazard suits. They have like Kevlar vests like on top of the like clean fabric, stuff like that. And they'll have like assault rifles and stuff with like flamethrowers underneath them.
Seal off the area. I want no one in or out. Make sure nothing.
Okay, so you get a salute from the like captain or whatever, and they all go off and start doing their things. And you're now staring at the front steps of the county morgue.
I'm gonna go under like the police tape, like the do not, and I'm gonna go up the steps and up to the front door. Will everybody follow suit?
Yeah, Boston's gonna follow you.
Acting doctor, and I'm gonna pull on like the latex gloves and like snap.
Lovely.
All right.
So you walk in the front the set of double doors, and behind the counter is like a very old, like gaunt, yellowed skin man. Looks very unhealthy. He like looks up. He's got like the big thick glasses, and looks up to you and he's like, yes, I was expecting the three of you. Mr. Chamberlain's deceased body is in room number 5, and he just kind of like points to like a side door. This has a plaque above it that says like cold storage.
Very well. Follow me. And I'm gonna start moving to the room.
Okay, so we enter the morgue, and they have like the wall like drawer things, and like each one has like the placard like name on it and stuff, and you find one that has Chamberlain's name on it, and you just like open the door, and the body slides out on the metal slab, and yeah, he's there. He's
I'm gonna
very
put
deceased.
on a we would have like small like air purifiers on
Yeah.
or well on us, I should say.
Well, the biohazard tag team would have him.
So I'm gonna go to Bostonbrook and have him go get a couple for us.
Cool. Well, you're immune to. Well, actually, you're immune to all mundane illnesses. So yeah, this might be a good idea. Yeah. So Bostonbrook's like, of course, and he turns around. He's an older man, so he's not going to be super agile about it. But like a couple minutes goes by, he comes back holding like some basic gas masks essentially.
All right, you and X put them on. I should be fine.
Alrighty. Bostonbrook puts his gas mask on.
Okay. Well, autopsy.
Yeah. So make I guess an intelligence for
So
that.
I'm gonna pull out my own little surgery set that I have inside of my pocket. And I'm going to do that because I cannot trust that these tools are sterile. Doctor, it's really paid off. Not or 7 with an intelligence 9.
7. Okay. So you you pull the dude's body out, you put him on the proper slab again, and he of course he has already been worked on, so you're just kind of like cutting open the previous stitches and stuff like that, and you open him back up, and where like the black like line is, you see that as you open him up, where the line is all throughout like his body, is like that line continues through as like a corruption almost that like runs through his body like a vein of coal.
I'm gonna make an intelligence check to see if this is what I think.
What?
I'm gonna make intelligence.
Sure.
See if I can tell what this is. 6.
Okay, so you look at it some more, and you kind of examine it. You kind of peel away some more of the flesh. Look at this kind of like black ooze almost, or like
Iker.
yeah, it's not fully liquid. It seems like his flesh was like partially liquefied by whatever this is. And as you kind of like poke, so you take a scalpel and you poke at like the actual like corruptive part of it,
Yeah.
and a tendril grows from the where you poked it and like starts wrapping itself around the scalpel.
We need to seal off this area now.
Are you gonna remove the scalpel from?
I'm gonna keep the scalpel there because I want to keep the tendril there. Then
Okay.
I'm gonna take out another scalpel with my other hand, and in one foul swoop, a larger scalpel. And in one foul swoop, I'm going to cut it off and take it with me for studies. I'm going to have it put in a specimen bag.
Okay, so you take out your second scalpel. I imagine your coat is lined with them.
Yes,
And
very much so.
You cut this small little tendril off from the main body, and as soon as you do so, it releases its grip on the scalpel and falls to the ceramic like slab and begins like writhing around like a dying worm.
Quick, get me a containment bag. Someone, anyone, now.
Yeah, Bostonbrook's gonna
We
make
need to keep. We need to keep the specimen fresh.
Bostonbrook's gonna make an agility check. Yeah, it's a pass. So yeah, so Bostonbrook quick turns on his heels. He grabs a specimen bag from, one of the attending biohazard dudes, and he just kind of like shoves it against you pretty much. He's like, "Here, take it."
I'm gonna take it and then take forceps and pick it up, place it gently in the bag, seal it off with no air inside.
Okie dokie. So yeah, so you make me an agility check, would you?
Oh, let's go.
Oh yeah,
Agility of 5.
So as you touch it with the forceps, more smaller tendrils begin wrapping around the forceps, and you just like quick shove it in
Toss
this
the
bag.
forceps in the bag.
Yeah, and then you just like seal it up, and it's totally fine. It's safe. There's no problem.
I'm gonna like take it like back.
And you look towards the
bag.
So you had this bag of weird black corrupted flesh or whatever, and you kind of like seal that up, stuck it in your jacket pocket, and as you turn to back to the body, you see that you know how like autopsies they have like the V cut in them,
Yep.
right? Well, the V cut is now entirely black with
Oh god.
that like corruption, and as soon as like you like react to it, bright white teeth grow from the like insides of like the flaps of like flesh.
Bostonbrook, I'm gonna draw my rapier. Tell the quarantine team to seal this building. If they haven't already, put up a barrier. This cannot escape.
Okay, so you tell that to Bostonbrook, and he like turns and runs back, into the hallway, and he yells outside, like, "Cut
Full
off the
quarantine
area,
protocol.
quarantine the area, nothing can get in." And then
Get the
meanwhile,
gentleman in the front room out of here.
okay, yeah, so he runs out in the main lobby again, and you hear him like usher the old man out, and as you're inside with this mutating body, it begins like seizing essentially, like it's like
Alright.
writhing on the ceramic slab, and Mr. Chamberlain's eyes open again.
Good. I'm gonna take a stab at it.
Okay.
Try and stab it lengthway. So through one side of the stomach, out the other.
Okay. Well, he can't dodge this, so roll damage.
Oh. How many do you want? So I'm stabbing it with my.
I believe it's 2 because he's paranormal.
Storyweaver, Warblade of the Victor.
Okay,
it
so
is
does
2d100
against
against humans
doubled.
and triple damage against demons. Double damage against other miscellaneous paranormal.
Yeah, so roll me 2d100 and then double the result.
This one. 20 and 70. So that is 90 times.
So 90 times 2, so it's 180 damage. Let me get my sheet.
So, unholy, like, wisps of fire would start, like, popping body.
Minus 180 equals... Nope. Wait, how much am I? That'd be 220? Yeah.
Wait, what do I have there right now?
Doing mental math. Okay, so you stab this writhing body, and your sword enters this reanimated corpse with like a suspicious degree of ease. Like the flesh isn't like giving any resistance to your blade.
Okay.
And as soon as your blade pierces this thing, Mr. Chamberlain lets out a terrifying, like guttural scream before the Y-shaped cut in his chest and stuff, like totally bursts, like splits apart, and the corruption takes over his entire body, pretty much like instantly.
So does hellfire like pop out from this cut?
No, because he is not demonic.
As this happens, I'm
Any-
going to start mumbling to myself furiously. Never should have come here. This was a bad idea.
No one asked you, X. Okay, twisting the blade.
Okay, so yeah, so you twist it and you try to pull it out of this thing. Give me a strength check.
Not gonna talk.
Let's you got a.
We're not gonna talk about that.
Oh, so you.
So one of the, so it like wraps around the sword.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
okay. So you stab this guy, right? And as you try to pull the rapier out of his stomach area, two large octopus tentacles grow from around the wound and wrap themselves around the sword.
Oh God, damn it all to hell!
Now we can all roll initiative.
Okay,
So Bostonbrook.
Monsieur X, roll initiative.
4 plus 4, so...
I got a 9.
I got a 2.
Jesus. Okay. So, 2, what's your agility, JVH?
My agility is 5.
Okay, so you get 7. X rolled a 9, which is impressive.
Agility of 4.
Agility of 4. Okay, get 13. Dang. And then the enemies, what does Paranormal Man roll? He got a 6. And he's not very agile, so this shouldn't be too bad. Let's see. Yeah, so he gets a 10. Okay, so the Demon Warlock Man acts first.
Alright,
Okay.
so this is kind of bad. It's just like right next to us in this room.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to just open up with a volley of fireballs.
God,
So
you're
gonna
trying to kill
use
me.
Pick 6, I assume, right?
Yes.
All right, and how
So
You're
about
trying
let's-
to kill me.
Perception. I rolled a 5 with a perception of 7.
Do I have a chance to get clean?
No, these aren't like explosive fireballs. They're just kind of like,
It's a single target.
yeah.
Okay.
Um,
There's no splash. Okay, good.
so you're gonna fire 6 of them.
Well, there's only one target in this room, so I guess all 6 of them go at that thing.
Okay.
Is the anxiety taking over yet?
So 2d100 damage per shot. That means that's 12d100.
Do you want me to roll 12d100?
No, I can get the dice
I mean, we
out.
certainly can.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Are you watching this? Are you watching this? Oh god.
Oh, I gotta
There
wait
it
for that to
goes.
respawn. What did I get? What did he get?
Okay, alright. Thank
He got
Is it
a
not-
470.
you. Stop.
Oh my god.
So I did not balance that ability properly. Okay, so
Nope. No, you
So-
did not.
Lol.
so
That's all he can say. It's just lol.
so yeah, so you step back and you fire these 6 fireballs at this dude. And
As I'm trying to pull my sword out.
and you just like melt the body, you melt the ceramic slab that he was on, all the equipment around him. It's all a pile of slag.
Except for my sword.
Yeah, your sword is safe.
Is my sword red glowing?
Yeah, it's like steaming with the remnants of the goop.
I'm gonna lift up the bag. Well, at least we got a sample.
Roll me a luck check, actually.
Hate you.
Please roll bad. Please roll bad. Please roll bad. Please roll bad. Yes.
I hate you. I hate you
So you.
so much.
So as you say,
Not a crit fail.
at least
Not a
we
crit
have.
fail.
Yeah, it was a crit fail. Yeah. So as you say, at least we have the sample. You feel a sudden like wetness where the like in your against your chest where the bag was.
No.
Um,
No.
I need you to make an endurance check at disadvantage, please.
So
I got a 5, you got a 1. Oh no. Oh, that's pretty bad.
well, time for JVH to come back.
You might want to. Okay.
I'm gonna
so-
draw my raillock pistol right now. Because I
So-
think I already know what happens.
I need to roll something off screen. Let's see. Yep, I'm
I'm going to
something.
draw my raillock pistol
Wow.
and pop
Can't
it
wait.
in my mouth just in case.
Can't wait to see how we're all gonna die.
Yeah, he rolled a bad one. He rolled a bad one.
What did I roll?
Let's see. I need to roll a D1000.
I was good. You are a horrible person.
1.
I was gonna say I can do my 64 or my 60. Oh yeah, X. I got a D60 now.
Nice. Big die.
You rolled a 22.
A 22.
A 22.
All right, so stop delaying the inevitable. I'm just gonna kill myself if it's anything that bad.
That's this one. Well, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Let me go. Let's see. Number 22. Oh, okay. Actually, do you want to shoot yourself?
Well, what's the outcome, and then we'll see what
Nothing
happens.
happens that you can tell.
I can tell.
Nothing happens that you know about. Like nothing immediately happens. You just feel this wetness against your chest.
I'm gonna keep my raillock pistol out, but open up my shirt and jacket.
There is a several-eyed tendril creature with like a mouth and a tiny stabbing arm attached to your chest right now.
Bang bang.
You're gonna shoot yourself?
Is it killable? Is it like on me?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it like
on
attached
you.
to my skin?
It's not attached to you, it's just on you.
Well, looks like it's getting put down. Sorry, old yeller.
So you're gonna.
Death holds no consequence over me. You realize that I can put myself down too.
Well, yeah. So you're gonna shoot.
I'm gonna either shoot it or burn it. And right now the rail lock's in my hand, and that is looking like a bullet hole in its head.
Well, I mean you're point blank, so it's guaranteed hit. He can't dodge it. Roll
Yes.
damage.
I am using. Let's see, rail lock pistol. Uh, so we had like a system of figuring out what was in it. Probably
Yeah.
be like a standard
Yeah. So I'll take like just 5 to 100 then.
5. That's 300 damage to this tiny blob that is currently sitting.
So you shoot at like the eyeball bit on this little thing, and you blow like a decent sized hole in it. You miss yourself.
Get off of me! Get off of me!
And it kind of like plops to the floor, but it is still writhing around, and it begins growing at an exponential rate.
Anybody else want to take a stab at this?
Yeah, Bostonbrook. Well, actually, who
gonna-
acts first? The enemies act first, so it's actually his turn.
I'm gonna try and like get away from this thing as soon. We'll find a containment jar and hopefully seal off a specimen. And hopefully a jar will be better suited this time, and I'm not gonna store it in my jacket.
So you're gonna try to back away from it.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you can
Go
use
back
like
to the
take
shelf.
Use this backwards. So that was GVH's turn. So now we are to the enemies. Okay, so he little blob of black goo. Okay, what can he do? Let me see. Oh, this is gonna be a fun ability. Okay. Who's gonna target with this? I'm just gonna target with this. Okay. So this blob, it has like probably like 12 to 15 eyeballs right now, and they're all looking in different directions at the same time. And then as JVH backs up, they all look to the man in the bright orange jumpsuit.
Fuck.
And it looks.
You shouldn't be laughing. If something happens, I'm gonna nuke this whole room.
Yeah, he can.
Hey, you know what? Bostonbrook's the only one here that you and Bostonbrook are the only ones that are affected by death. I
That's
can
true.
come back.
The boss can come back too, but it's a different story.
That's a story for another time.
So he, all the eyes look to you, and you suddenly find yourself standing in the lobby of the morgue.
Wait, what? We're in the lobby.
Only X, but he's now standing in like a good 10 feet away from where he previously was. He's just there now.
Oh. Okay.
Which means
Do
that
I
he
find
can't
my
see
specimen?
the monster either, by the way, but, you know. Yeah, so that's a thing. That's a fun ability that this thing has. Now
find
we
my
are down to Bostonbrook. Glorious. So Bostonbrook, seeing this thing having teleported one of his allies somewhere else, and having like cause all these weird things to happen, he is going to grab Life's Limit and draw it from its sheath, which makes him use a totally different stat block than is normal. So I need to be aware of that. And he's going to try to slash at this thing. Let's see, that would be swing with limit. Okay, so this thing can't dodge because it's just a blob of ichor. It is 5d100 damage. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see how much health does this thing have. Okay, yeah. So he draws this glistening broadsword and brings it down on this like goop, and he like cuts it right down like the center of its eyeballs, and separates it in two, and he like cuts through it into the tiled floor, and cuts a divot in the tiled floor too, and yeah, and then like it stops moving and turns to like a puddle of goo.
All right. Give me that specimen.
Okay, yeah, so you can walk over and just like pick up the specimen.
Scoop it up. Seal the jar.
Yeah, so you just pick up one of the jars, and you can seal it up pretty easily. No big deal. Scoop up some of the goop into the jar.
Now I'm gonna put that jar into a bag, and put that bag into a bigger jar.
Okay. Yeah, sure, you can do that.
All right. So we should be good, right?
Alrighty.
There's no more movement present.
Nope, there is. Well, I mean, if you ignore like the oozing like liquid like ceramic that you reduced the table to over there, no, there is no movement.
Okay. I'm gonna have us all like slowly back out of the room. Shut the door.
All right. Now that combat is over,
Yeah.
I walk up to Van Helsing. I'm like, what happened?
I think it's dead. I'm also holding the specimen bag.
Yes.
You think?
Just ask right now. One of us is a prisoner here. The other two are scientists. Why
I'm
don't
more
you
of a
let
professor,
those of
actually.
us whose job it is to worry about them? And now we burn down the Tell the containment units to get firebombs in here. We need to liquidize this building.
Okay, so as you say that, I'm gonna make a thing really quick. Glorious. So as you say, like, liquefy this building, the old man who owns the morgue walks in at the exact moment, hears you, and begins crying immediately.
We'll build a new one.
Okay. So as you say, build a new one.
There's a couple of people that are going to be losing their jobs today.
A group of heavily armed men in biohazard suits, the big puffy yellow ones, walk in and drag the sobbing, crying old man out of this room and then toss incendiary grenades into the lobby.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, so as you walk down the front steps, you hear the sounds of the thermite and the grenades going off as the fizzle begins and the fire starts.
Who let this man in?
all of the biohazard suit dudes just kind of like look to one another, and then back to the sobbing man who was kneeling in the middle of the street crying.
I swear to God, if one of you doesn't answer, I'm gonna draw my sword.
Um,
Hey,
Who
Google,
was it?
stop.
I'm gonna make a thing. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so one of the guys steps up and was like, I think like nobody was watching the front doors. We were all just kind of covering like the whole block. So he just like walked back inside.
All of you who are supposed to be front door watch are fired.
Then the guy
You
who
are to
spoke up,
return back to B
the guy
immediately for memory wipe.
so the guy who just spoke up, he's like, oh, okay, fine.
Now get back to base. All of you. Memory wipe.
And they all hop
Before
back in
I
their
start
truck.
taking off heads.
And they all hop in their truck and speed off back towards the HQ.
X, if you would be so kind as to add to the flame. For some reason, I don't trust that these flames will liquefy this building. Be so kind. Okay, good talk. I'm gonna hand off the sample to Bostonbrook.
Sure, yeah, he
And
kind of like holds it at arm's length, but he's
sit down and put my head in my hands. What are we dealing with here, Bostonbrook?
He goes, well, now that we've burnt down the county morgue,
What did I just say? We'll build another one. It's fine.
and you know, the old man is still crying in the middle of the street, by the way. Bostonbrook turns to you, and he's like, well, I guess the only real other option we have is to go visit that house now.
True, but turn back. Store this. Get some research done.
Okay, so you're gonna go back to what, like the
Headquarters.
eh?
We're gonna go back to headquarters.
Go back to headquarters. Okay, so you get back in the limousine, and we all return to headquarters, and McLafferty's out front, and she just kind of like sees us pull up, and she's like, "Oh, get all of that stuff done so quick, huh?"
Not a word.
What?
This asset unpredictable. No way to keep him under control.
Okay.
You guys talking about me?
Yes. You launched fireballs. I'm not even gonna entertain you with an answer right now.
So the insane man snaps out of his previous trance and interjects suddenly, only to be shot down immediately by the mad scientist. Okay. So
McLafferty, we need a way to contain this subject in the field. Apparently, having his head blown off is of no consequence.
are you referring to
It-
the warlock demon, or are you referring to the goop of black corruption?
The warlock demon. What else?
Okay. So well, if you do have like the explosive color thing, that like limits his power a little bit. So
I see no reason for measures to be taken. I simply
You
acted
lost
in
cool
our.
and launched fireballs at an active test subject. That is unacceptable.
Test subject, you stabbed it!
I stabbed it. Because
it was a scientific probing.
still it was still a viable test subject. We could have had the whole subject containment.
Well, Perhaps if you gave me my gear, I would not have had to use such lethal force.
Gear. You're a test subject, not a. I need to think my things up before I say them. You're a test subject, not a field operator.
Impossible to kind of look back and forth between this with like McLafferty and they're both like sipping tea again. Yeah, so you're back at headquarters.
I'm gonna look back to Lafferty. Contain your asset or take him off my team.
And she says, well, he's about as contained as we can possibly get him, unless you want to bring his pet with him. That should keep him like pretty sedated.
Figure it out. I don't care.
And then she goes, no, okay, your funeral. And she turns and she like walks into like the lobby, and you hear her yell, bring out the chicken. And then like a couple seconds later, a really cute chicken wearing like plate armor gets brought out on like a pillow by like a really scared looking intern who looks absolutely terrified. Like he's sweating bullets, his eyes are like jittering back and forth, he's quaking in his boots, and he like puts the chicken down and then flees back into the building at top human speed. And the chicken just like looks around confused. Yeah.
What am I looking at?
McLafferty just kind of like kneels down and like pets the chicken, and she goes, well, this is Mr. Subject 19's pet familiar. He's a chicken with a bunch of souls in his body, and he can like do kung fu and stuff. Bostonbrook will immediately begin also petting the chicken. I want to point that out.
I'm just gonna.
I also begin to pet the
Put
chicken.
a hand on my face.
So we have
like-
a small gathering of people petting a chicken, and then Hellsing
So
sitting above them shaking his head really disappointed.
I'm
I look at
take my
Hellsing and I'm like,
glasses off and
"Join us."
slowly run my hand down my face.
Join us and you will see.
Are you gonna pet the chicken?
Science, not became such ideal.
So you're not gonna pet the chicken.
No, I have research to be conducting.
So as you deny our request to pet the chicken looks to you dead in the eyes and goes, "Wow, rude."
I'm going to draw my flintlock pistol, reload, and aim it at the chicken's head, and I will. You and
And the chicken looks back to. Well, actually, hold on. Now I have to look at the stats for Battlecock because he has an ability that might prevent you from hurting him.
then I'll just aim it at X.
Let's see, where is he? Where is he? That's the demon man. Here we go. Here's Battlecock. Let's see.
This entire, I can tell this entire JV filthy.
Yes, he has an ability called magnetic
Screaming.
friendship. So you try to pull the trigger on the pistol and shoot him, but you physically cannot do it.
Maybe if I close my eyes. Not
You still you just can't. You are filled with an overwhelming sense that this creature is adorable and innocent and could
gonna
not
fight
possibly
that.
do anything wrong or evil or bad.
I'm gonna fight this. Jack.
So what stat would that be for?
San-
A what?
My sanity.
Your sanity. Okay. Well, you've not gone insane.
No. I used my sanity check to like. It's not adorable.
Okay, yeah. So So yeah, so you managed to temporarily overcome this feeling that this creature is not in fact cute, um, but like you still can't hurt it. But he's not nearly as cute as you thought he was. He's still pretty cute.
Just a chicken.
He's a cute chicken though. It's pretty fat.
I'm gonna put my storm off and begin search.
We've made the doctor rage quit once already. Great.
Chicken 1, Doctor 0.
I'm gonna keep a score.
I can still hear you.
Yeah. So, what's next? You still have to go to that address and figure out.
Well, I'm gonna do a bit of research while we're here, like stocking and resupplying and everything.
Okay. So, Dr.
I'm gonna do a bit of.
Bostonbrook, he follows after you with the sample in the jar held at arm's length, and he walks like very like carefully.
Okay. So we are now in my personal quarters.
Yep.
No
in
chickens
the
allowed.
basement of the GPCU headquarters, there is a large wing of the sub basements dedicated to the private laboratories of Dr. Jason Van Helsing. And
Is the sphere here?
yeah, the giant sphere is there.
Yes.
It's a giant hovering platinum sphere.
Nice.
And
All right. So I'm going to urge the doctor to put it in my very fine specimen containment unit, which is literally a tube with lights, what looks to be tasers, or well, Tesla coils around it. There are cameras surrounding the specimen containment field. Uh, there is robotic arms that can be used to come into contact with the specimen. I'm going to move over and open the containment unit field, and then close it as soon as he lets this thing into there.
okay, yeah, so he just kind of walks up and opens like the bag in the jar and the bag in the jar, and then like pours the goop into the
I'm going to
containment center.
quickly shut it after that.
Yeah, you do so. The Icar's not moving or doing anything.
All right, Bostonbrook, now sit tight. You might want to put on some glasses. I'm going to put on my glasses. I'm going to give it a controlled shock. We will see how it reacts.
So you give it
5 megahertz.
This is an interesting.
Megawatts? Megawatt? Right?
Make me a luck check, because you could do a very bad thing if you roll poorly enough. 3. Okay, that's not terrible.
Not great.
So you zap this pool of black ichor.
With a very like low controlled shock. Like it's not
Yeah.
like I'm going like 100 megawatts.
And you you zap this thing,
It's like 5 megawatts that I'm zapping.
and you know that the ferro fluid that like is like magnetic and it kind of like spikes up when you put a magnet over it.
Yeah.
It does
Yeah.
that while the shock is active.
It seems to be still alive. Or at least capable of moving.
We don't know if it's still alive, but it's certainly able to react.
Bostonbrook?
Yes.
Ideas?
Well, he seems to be of the conviction that like they still have a job to be doing. But
But we need information. So, very quickly, before we do anything else,
yes.
I'm going to give it one more controlled shock, but upping the ampage to 20. So you hear the the voltage like up as it like charges up. You hear the whir of the machines like charging up.
Yeah, so there's the
And we're going to deliver a short controlled shock of 20 watts.
alrighty.
4. So 1 up from 4. Are we
Um,
seeing any kind of movement?
no movement. You deliver this tougher shock, and smoke begins to like billow off of this the pool of ichor, and it does still react like that kind of like spiked ferrofluid kind of way when the shock is administered.
Bear with me, boss. Bear with me. 1 more shock. Up 20 more, up to 40.
Okay, dokie.
Okay, let's see if we get a reaction. 7.
7. Okay. You up the voltage again. The crackling of the electricity surges. The shock hits this puddle of ferrofluid, and no, not ferrofluid, but like this puddle of black corruptive ichor, and black tendrils like shoot off, and like the ferrofluid reaction happens, but if the spikes are bigger, um,
Ha!
and the smoke is now like for real. It's steaming.
Aha! It's demon?
Well, it's steaming, yeah.
It is demon in nature. We can
Well,
confirm that.
no, but it's steaming.
Oh, it's steaming.
It's steaming.
Okay. Final shock, 100 amps. Let's see where this goes. 2.
100. Okay, so you hit this thing with
With full power.
full powered 100 megawatts.
The power in the base surges.
Yeah. There's like the lights everywhere else, for, like X and stuff, who are all outside still. The lights, like the whole city, like flicker temporarily. And you hit this thing. You hit it with 100 megawatts, and the fluid like shoots up into like a pillar almost. A crack in reality opens up in the middle of this like containment tube. The fluid is sucked into the hole in reality, and then the crack seals itself again.
I'm gonna like shakily take off my glasses and look to Bostonbrook for an answer.
Bostonbrook. Bostonbrook has been sipping tea the entire time and was not paying attention.
Bostonbrook!
Oh, yes, Dr. Hellsing. What is it you need?
The containment field!
Yes?
Do you notice anything?
Oh, it's gone, isn't it?
Yes!
Where did it go?
Well, ask the crack in reality that opened up.
Oh, that's curious.
I upped it to 100 megawatts, shocked it, and then a crack in reality formed, and it disappeared.
Well, that is
What
certainly
are we
interesting.
dealing?
Well, I suppose we can note that in the report.
You have to.
And, yeah. So where do we go from here? What's next?
Okay, I'm going to go back out to the main lobby while still writing my report. And I'm gonna. Is McLafferty there?
Yeah, she's there keeping watch over Demon Warlock Man and Talking Chicken.
I'm going to slam this report down on the desk, and I'm going to rally everybody to go to this property.
Okay, okay. So
Read it.
so McLaughlin, she picks up the manila folder that you like plop down on the concierge's desk, and she looks it over and she goes, "Oh well, this is something new I haven't seen before."
You and me both.
Well, she's like, I
This is
believe we
this
had
is an
something.
anomalous form, apparently with the ability to travel between dimensions. Do you realize how threatening this is?
And it was dead, and it could still do that.
Yes, very much so.
Well, that's awfully disconcerting. Well,
Well, congratulations, McLafferty. Now we have a out of control specimen in an unknown dimension with the ability to possibly hop dimensions once again.
well, you know,
Mazel
it's kind
tov.
of Bostonbrook. He turns. He was petting the chicken. And he turns and goes, "Oh yes."
Damn it, Wilson. If the chicken is going to be a problem and I cannot rely on you because of it,
Well, we're not
um,
doing anything right now. It's fine. I can pet the chicken.
one time I need another scientific outlook. Aren't paying attention.
He's like, "Oh, you
I'm
want my
convinced the
professional,
board
my
that
professional
we
opinion?"
need to contain things more properly. You are petting a chicken.
He's like, "Do you want my professional opinion on this situation, then, sir?"
Yes.
Okay, he's gonna make
What
it.
do you think I have you here for?
It's 5. Okay. I mean, we appear to have either an extraplanar entity or extra dimensional entity on our hands, and I suggest we head to this property and see if we can find other evidence. Question this lawyer bloke and find our friends who went before us and are no longer reporting in.
Finally, a good suggestion. Let's go.
All right. And now we're back on track. It's been an hour and a half,
You
and
know
we've
what?
gotten nearly to the first
I
objective.
I had to find out what happened. I had to find out what happens when you shock it.
I mean, you've certainly
Part
figured it
of
out.
it's part of my sadistic nature.
Alrighty, so we all hop in this limousine and we head over to the address. It is now very heavily storming. It's pouring rain, lightning, thunder, the whole kit and caboodle. It's very windy. The roads are pretty empty. It's
I
darker
see.
now. Very cloudy, very gloomy day. And we pull up to the front steps of this address, which
Okay.
is steal from the Curse of Strahd, if you're wondering.
Very well.
Winston, stop.
So I'm going to over knock on the door.
So you knock on the door, and a few moments later, a
Winston.
very gruff-looking, um, tired, older gentleman opens the door, and he opens it, and he's like, "What do you want?"
We're from the JPCU.
And he goes, "About time you
He
guys
got
showed
out.
up, all right." And he opens the door and lets you all in. And he goes, "I assume you're here to see the lawyer."
Yes, that would be.
He's
I
like,
just that I am wearing.
"All right, follow me." And he brings you into this like dining room area, essentially. And there you see the lawyer that you spoke of. He is a very weaselly looking man, kind of short, very
I
skinny, very lanky, um, slicked back, oily hair, um, very suspicious glancing, very anxious.
Can I sense any magic?
Um, no, not in here.
Okay, very good. Well, at least he's not a magic.
And yeah, so he's like, gentlemen, please take your seats. We've been waiting some time for representatives to get here so we can discuss this transition of property.
Very. What happened?
Pardon?
What happened to the previous team?
He goes, what previous team? We've sent you all a report requesting your presence, and nobody's showed up for like 4 days.
Curious. Wasn't there like a previous team that came here?
There was a previous team that was sent here, but the lawyer is claiming that they never showed up.
How very curious, Mr. Brewer. If that is who you really are.
And he goes, I assure you, yes, my real name. I'm attorney at law.
Oh, such a like a cheesy one-liner.
Shut up! So you're telling me that the other team that we sent never showed?
Mm-hmm. He's like, yes, there's nobody's showed up for several days. We'd been waiting, assuming that they would send somebody over. We're the first people we've seen.
Winston.
In right, well, business.
So yeah, so
Down to business, I suppose.
he's like, of course, and he reaches into like a big, heavy briefcase. He brings out what looks to be like it could be a manuscript, and it just says like the last will and testament of Mr. Robert Chamberlain, and he clears his throat. He's like he's like, okay, page 1, and then and
Yeah. We'll read through this.
he's like, oh, would you like copies?
You don't need to go through the formality of reading it to us. We can read it tomorrow.
He goes,
We have a very tight schedule to keep.
of course. And then he turns to the guy that let you in. He goes, Mr. Brown, would you fetch the spare copies for us? And he goes, all right. Then he leaves the room, comes back a few minutes later with a big stack of paperwork, and he plops it on the table. And he's like, there you go. And he's like,
Okay.
well, the will does transfer all of Mr. Chamberlain's properties over to the JPCU, and that includes the over 300 servants and employees that Mr. Chamberlain employed previously. He's like, and all it'll take is some signatures on the bottom of this paperwork here, and he hands you like he tears the last page of the will off from like the big packet and slides it across to Hellsing.
I'm going to read through it thoroughly.
Yeah, it all checks out. It just
And make
says like transfers ownership
sure
of all properties, and it's this massive list of properties, probably like like 6 or 7 different listed properties.
Are there any that stick out as unusual?
As unusual? Well, the house you're currently in is listed. There's also mentioning a private island off the coast of Louisiana. There's a hunting lodge deep in the woods. There is a second manor and among this large list, there's also what appears
Hmm.
to be some old archaeological dig site that used to be like a colonial era like fort that he disclosed.
Interesting. Right?
And there's a bunch
Going
more
to take out
places,
a
but
very
none of
like
them are as interesting as those.
I'm going to take out a very intricate feather pen and a little cask of ink and step it in. Howdy. Sign my name very eloquent.
Okay, yes, you sign your name on behalf of the TPCU. He goes, "All right, lovely. That's the finalization of the will." He's like, "Now, of course, there is the matter of visiting each of the properties and touring them all to make sure that everything is up to code. All the magical items are kept in safe enough order."
Indeed.
And he goes, "So we can begin that tour of the Chamberlain Estates with this very house. I believe Mr. Maurice Brown here," and he points to like the groundskeeper dude in the corner of the room sulking. He's like, "He can lead you on a nice tour while I finish up copying these documents and sending them to JPCU and town hall and stuff."
Hmm.
And yeah, so
Very well.
are you gonna go on this tour of the house?
I think I'll go on my own tour, Barry. Thank you.
Go on your own tour. Well, Mr. Brown's going to accompany you because he had nothing better to do. But yeah, you can use free
No, no,
reign
no,
of
no,
the
no.
house.
You can take X and Mr. Boston here on the guided tour, and I'll just find my way around.
Alrighty then. So him and X and Boston Brook are led to the first floor, and then they go traveling upstairs. Where do you go?
I'm going to attempt to go down to the base,
Down to the basement. Um, there is
which I'm assuming is over here.
where?
Right here.
That is
That'd
the
be like,
attic. Um, and there doesn't appear to be an entrance to
yes, there
it.
is. Well, basement.
Well, are you going to go up into the attic to search it?
Well, I'm gonna. For now, yes.
Okay, so you head up to the attic to look for the entrance to the.
Be right here.
Well, that's the stairwell to go. This is the to go downstairs.
Wait, but I'm in the attic.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm like right here.
because this entrance to the attic is itself secret.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, it's up here. I believe. Let me see.
So I'm gonna be like,
Let me check my copy. Yes. Yeah, the entrance itself to the attic is like a fake wall panel. But as you walk up to the attic and stuff, um, Maurice Brown and the rest of them are already there. So the door is already open when you get there. They're in here.
I see. Well, I'm going to keep on my own guided tour and go to a different. Try to like stay away from them and let them do their.
So you're going to try to like purposefully avoid them.
Yes. And
Okay, so
then wait for them to leave.
yeah, so they go through this room here.
So what rooms would they have already gone through? They have
They
gone
would have
through.
already gone through like doors. This is probably like a half
No,
an
no,
hour
no. I
tour
mean,
up
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Probably. This probably would have been like the first room they checked.
So I'm gonna wait in the stairwell, wait for them to go into another room because I hear their voices, right?
Yeah, you hear them talking.
Okay, so I'm gonna wait in the stairwell, like right, leave the door on a crack,
Um,
and then wait for them to go into another room
So you actually, they would have been. Let me look at my map. They would have been in here first.
Wait. So they're in this room first.
Yes. And you
Okay,
hear
so
them
I'm still
talking,
gonna
and
wait.
that is Maurice Brown's personal quarters, essentially.
Okay, so I'm gonna wait for them to leave there.
Okay, so yeah, they leave and they go across the way into here.
Okay, now that they're in there, assumably the door is somewhat shut my waist.
Okay. This is
And I'm gonna conduct my own search.
yeah, this is Maurice Brown's like personal bedroom. He's got like an old wooden, rickety bed.
Okay.
Desk covered in maintenance paperwork and stuff like that. You
I'm
can
gonna
make a
conduct
proper search if you want.
I'm gonna do a proper search, but quietly.
Make me a perception and an agility check then.
Okay, that's going to be agility.
Okay.
This one's perception.
Cool.
Perception of 8.
You find tucked in this corner of the room, you find an empty gun case.
Very. Do I have a phone?
Yeah, you would have like a cell phone.
Going to take a picture of the quarters and then take a picture of the gun case.
Yeah.
And
sure,
the
you do that.
like the empty gun case.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take a picture of everything I find.
Yeah. Sure, you can do that.
Very nice.
And that appears
Because
to be
more than he didn't show that off.
yeah. And then as you finish
Well,
up that search, they head into this room.
okay, then a close suit. This
That is the room used for the house's servants.
okay.
So there's like the two different beds, and you've not seen any servants in the house, and you searched all of this already, and there haven't been anybody else here.
White
Indeed.
white odd. Same thing. Okay. Agility, perception.
Cool. In here, you just find some personal effects from the servants. This room does appear to be like actively lived in. You've just not seen anybody in the building. Yeah, nothing too big of interest. Actually, no, maybe you.
The biggest thing of interest is the gun case. The
Yeah.
fact that there are no servants, but servants.
Yes, this room appears to have been or to be used like moderately freely. Like the beds are still made all nice and stuff like that, but there are some like foot lockers with personal effects in them and stuff like that.
So I find nothing but like personal effects. Locker.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait right by the doorway.
And then these guys head into here. Now that room is what appears to be a child's room. But you've not seen anybody else here, nor have you seen a child.
Usually, you have a child in a house, around, play games.
But it is a very dusty room, and it doesn't appear to have been used for a very long time. But it is still decorated to look like a probably a elementary school level boys' rooms. The walls are all like nice and blue, and the bed is all like like child sheets, and the rocking chair has storybooks on it and stuff like that. But it's all very dusty and confused.
Mm. Hmm. I see. I'm going to wait this out. I'm not going to search this room. Just
Um, let's see how would this happen. Oh boy. Okay, so as you wait in this room, you hear Mr. Brown talking about the different works of art that are kept in this room and stuff and things like that. And after he finishes his spiel, he asks the other two where you are. And of course, neither of us can answer because we haven't seen you.
I may be in danger.
And then he's like, well, I just wanted to know where he is because this room has a lot of history in it, and like a lot of paintings and sculptures and magical artifacts. Like this is like the magic room. Like you can just walking past it, you can sense the magic in here. It's like a buzzing in the back of your head. You can feel it. There's
Something vile this way comes.
Yeah, you can feel the magic radiation kind of emanating from within that room, and he's like, where like I want to make sure that he knows the history of these artifacts, and he knows not to like open any of the display cases because we don't know what all of them do, and it's been a long time since Michigan's been up here. This house isn't usually used by him, so there's like stuff could be different, and I want to make sure that he doesn't walk in here and trip on a display case and summon a demon or something like that. And of course, neither Bostonbrook or Hex can actually tell him where you are. So he just says that like, okay, then, we can wait.
Continue on with the.
Like, well, this is the end of the tour. This is the last floor of the building. And he says that it's like, but so we can I'm gonna wait in here to wait for him to inevitably search this area to come here, part of his own sort of meandering.
I see. I see now. I see now. Okay, I'm gonna like shuffle around on this wall and the hidden panel.
You're gonna mess with this wall panel?
No, this wall. This wall. Right here. Right. And I'm gonna look for a hidden panel to go down here because I see it. I see it right there.
Yep.
I'm gonna go down to the catacombs.
So you mess with this wall panel. It is just a wall. You open it up and there's insulation.
Find out how to get to this. It's like I'm gonna say that I like tapped on the wall. Low behind.
He's gonna
like,
make a perception check.
I'm gonna make an agility check.
Oh.
That's my dice.
You got a what, a 9, I think?
No. Let me re-roll it because you interfered.
Got a 4
4.
against a 4. Oh,
Agility.
We we matched.
So does it just like
Cancels out?
yeah, I was gonna say it cancels out.
He hears like a slight tip tap, but doesn't like go to
think anything of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just the house creaking or whatever.
Yeah, it's like an older house, and yeah. So, how long are you going to wait here before leaving? Because Bostonbrook
gotta find a
absorbed,
weird-
from what you can hear, they appear to be searching about the items in this room.
Like just speaking about them. I need to
Yeah,
find a
looking at
way
them.
into that. I need to find a way into that catacomb. So there are several stairs. Got it. What seems to be only one entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Well, I mean, you probably would have searched all of these other areas, and you would have known you wouldn't
and
have
noticed
found
that,
anything.
and but like I would have noticed that there's like this,
Well, yeah,
just
yeah.
this
You would have
one
noticed
wall.
like the fake, there's a bump here where there shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But you haven't found anything behind it.
So
You haven't found a secret
I'm going
entranceway.
to sneak my way down
So as you
out into
sneak your way down,
could be into here.
that's what that says. You walk back through the open secret door, and Mr. Brewer is standing like uncomfortably close to you as you exit that door.
Yeah, Mr. Brew.
And he's like,
How are you?
"Ah, Dr. Hellsing, just the man I was trying to find. I believe Mr. Maurice in the attic is looking for you. He wants
Well, I'm
to."
not done yet, so he can wait.
He goes, "Well, of course. You can continue on your way." And he kind of lets you pass.
I'm gonna keep an eye
He just stands in the
on the
doorway,
stairs
really creepily.
as I walk towards the staircase. Watching
So
go
you're
up.
gonna go downstairs?
I'm gonna go to right here,
Okay.
and I'm going to go into this room because this room has a very odd placement of a wall.
Yeah. So you go into that room. That appears to be a personal study of some description. There's big bookshelves lined with thick tomes. There's a desk
Is
in
there
the
like
corner.
anything along the
On the walls, um, there are
five perception?
there is a really large cloth tapestry that covers this whole side of the wall.
Take a peek in that.
Now, yeah, okay, yeah. So there's a large tapestry. It looks to be very intricate. It's not magical that you can tell, but it's certainly very old and very very valuable.
Okay. Going to take a peek behind that tapestry.
There's a wall.
Okay. Like the same as the wall that I encountered.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break down the wall.
You're going to break down. Okay. So as you
Or
start,
well, at least cut a slit into it that I can go through.
well, you take like your rapier and you kind of like cut a slice in the wallpaper, and there is brick on the other side. Not insulation, by the way. Just brick.
Don't find it.
So what is your next move?
Uh, I can do. I can.
So what's your next move going to be?
I'm going to. Oh wait, I forgot. I forgot. I can do it. I'm going to alchemy check and some metal. Oh, wait,
Yes.
I can. I can. I can change pseudoscience.
Yes.
I can change science. Oh, so I am going to use my pseudoscience ability and pseudoscience manipulation. I am going to change the state of matter.
So you're going to try to use some experiment to change the state of matter and liquefy this brick wall.
Yes.
Kind of a difficult way to go about things, but okay, sure. Give me an intelligence check at disadvantage. 3 and a 6.
3.
I believe it still passes because you have a high
Yes.
intelligence. Okay,
Yeah,
so this would,
I have a
this would
very
count
high-
as like a kind of ritual because you're essentially brewing a potion to then melt this wall. So we'll say that takes a while. In the meantime, I'm gonna cut back to the attic. If X is here, we can
X, are you here?
mess around with this.
I may or may not exist.
Lovely response. Okay, so
I'm currently brewing a potion that will change the chemical component of this wall.
yeah, so this is gonna be pretty funny if I do what I want. Okay, so meanwhile, while we watch a montage of Hellsing, taking like the books in this room and like doing some weird nonsense, like going into the kitchen and taking stuff in the kitchen and making a bubbling potion. In the attic, Bostonbrook and Demon Warlock Man, who is still in prisoner's clothes, by the way, is
Yeah, still don't have any of my stuff.
yeah. We are in this attic with the groundskeeper looking around.
Oh, I do have the chicken now.
You do have the chicken. You do have Battlecock with you. And Mr. Brown, he's like, all right. Like, so yeah, this is the second to last section of our tour, gentlemen. And he walks over to this this part of the wall and taps on like a section of it, and it slides away to reveal a descending staircase. And he goes, "This will take us into the basement." Oh yeah, but you just had picked the wrong kind of part of the wall, man. Bad luck on your part. So he's like, okay, yeah, this down in this basement, where the real magical items are kept, and he ushers for us to go first. He's like, ladies first.
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Wait a minute.
I look around the room. Let me see what I rolled for perception. That is going to be a 5. Are there any ladies in this room?
There's a sculpture of a woman, but there aren't live women.
Alright, I walk over to the sculpture and I start trying to pull it.
Okay.
Wait, what is he walking over to?
That's the statue of the woman. Make a strength check for me to look at the statue.
Okay.
Down the staircase.
I got a nat 1.
Okay, so you try to pick up this this is like a Greek marble statue. It's like 7 foot tall, and you heave it with the best of your ability, and like pull.
But he
your
slips
hamstring.
off
Yeah, and you end up like falling
Oh.
backwards, and knock the statue
into an
over,
artifact.
and knock like one of the arms off the statue.
I should have had Battlecock do it.
You're crashing there.
So you want Battlecock to try to lift the statue?
Well, what does the dude say?
Oh my god!
So you lift the statue and you fall like flat on your back. You definitely can't do it. And he goes, very funny. I walked into that one, huh? And he goes, and he like ushers like gestures towards the staircase again, and he goes, "Don't break the statues, please."
Alright, I pick up Battlecock and I move to the staircase.
All right, so you move to the staircase. Bostonbrook follows you, and yeah, so Maurice he files in line right behind Bostonbrook, and you
Back to me.
begin descending the staircase. And
Am I in the staircase? Or am I still making my potion?
give it a couple of seconds, and then we begin walking down the staircase. Mr. Brown behind us, he hits a button on the wall. The wall panel closes. You hear some like gears and switches, and all of the stairs suddenly become a singular like a smooth slab of stone, and we begin sliding down like a slip and slide down to the basement.
Knew it. I knew it.
However,
I knew it
because
wasn't to be
X is
done.
holding on to Battlecock, he falls really slowly. So his slide isn't as entertaining as Bostonbrook's is. Um, and as we are screaming as we fall down this chute, cut back to the second floor, where Hellsing splashes this wall with acid and melts the brick. And as soon as like the hole becomes large enough for him to step through, he steps into this staircase. The stairs.
Well, no, I'm not gonna step into the staircase yet. I'm gonna let the hole melt through.
You melt the hole through, and
I'm not gonna
you
step
see
in.
Bostonbrook whip past you, screaming. And then a couple seconds later, Battlecock
Bostonbrook!
and Demon Warlock Man float past you.
God damn it.
I wink as I go past.
So
Wink
does
at me?
Battlecock. He winks too.
Don't wink at me.
Peacock.
I'm gonna look up the staircase, wait for them to stop falling. Wait for steps.
You wait like 5 seconds, and we've reached the bottom of the staircase. We spill out into this entrance little like foyer area of this underground bit, and you look at the staircase, and it's a spiral, so you can't see very far. But you look up, and it's darkness and a ramp.
Well, this right here is a fine pickle. Oh, what is it that Bostonbrook always says?
So actually,
Jumping in head first.
as you question that, you hear him hit the ground. You hear him yell, "Tally ho!"
Ah, right, that. I'm gonna go into the staircase.
So you
Or, well,
jump
the
into the
slip
staircase,
staircase.
and as soon as you
But I'm gonna control my descent.
your feet hit the stone, it's as if you're frictionless, and you just slip all the way down. Although you do manage to like hold on to the sides of the wall, and kind of like make it so you're kind of like a slower descent, and you appear at the bottom of the stairs with the rest of us.
Well, I hope we all know who's behind this.
Bostonbrook turns and goes, the lawyer.
No, the butler.
Ah, yes, like the classic game of Clue. The butler always does it.
Exactly. That is what I'm saying. This is where I wanted to go in first. Find an entrance for it. I was right across the.
Yeah, you picked the wrong part of the wall. Yeah, so you're in this like dimly lit basement, and it's the walls
I'm
are
going.
chipped stone. It's very damp and gross down here.
I'm going to urge them to come away from the slide case, and into a different room so I can share information with
All right, so where are you gonna go? You're gonna enter this room right there. Okay, that is room number 24. Let me look. 24. Okay, so
you. You know what's funnier than 24?
25.
5.
So we walk down on this hallway, past this.
No response from that.
Yeah, no response from that.
I mean, I understood, but
And,
there's nothing to say.
So, and we see two people clothed in dark brown robes sitting at this table, like eating dinner. So as you walk in, the two of them turn to see you, and they go, "It's about time," and then they both draw like short swords, essentially.
Excuse me?
Time
You
to
what?
re-roll initiative.
You what? You buddy.
Bostonbrook gets an 11.
8,
Let's go,
8
baby.
plus 5.
4, 5. What is my?
I believe your agility is 5.
I get a 6.
Your agility is 4,
5.
actually. So you
5.
rolled what?
My
8.
agility is a 5.
4, so you get 12. Hellsing rolled a 6.
6 and a 5.
So you get also an 11.
Hey! Looks like me and Bostonbrook attack in pairs.
Battlecock. Oh! What?
Oh my god!
You got a 10.
Excuse you!
Wow, he really knows what he's doing, huh? He's prepared. And he got an 18. Jesus.
Excuse me?
Yeah, he's very agile.
What?
And the enemies, they've got a. Wow. Okay. They got a 15.
Well, Bostonbrook, it looks like we certainly are in a pickle here.
Yeah. So, Babcock goes first. X, I'll give you control over him. Though he doesn't need to roll his, like, personality thing. So you roll a 1d10.
1d10?
Yep.
That's a 5.
He got a martial arts master. So as combat begins, the chicken leaps. So the chicken, his cute, adorable eyebrows suddenly furrow in anger, and his eyes, they become like very serious, and his expression becomes very serious. And he leaps.
Do they become
from,
ethereal?
Yeah, and he leaps from Demon Warlock Man's arms.
Like, he has ascended.
Yeah, and he begins yelling like Bruce Lee. Now he can use any of his normal chicken abilities or his martial arts abilities, which are in the notebook section if you want to see them.
Let's see. I have his character sheet on my
Oh, I was gonna say.
iPad. So I guess he's gonna move up to one of these robed men. And let's see, what can he do?
I'm gonna find
He's going to bicycle kick.
He's gonna bicycle
My
kick
God.
one of these dudes. Alrighty.
Mhm.
And also, fun fact: I found a piece called War Chicken, and that's what we're gonna use. Oh my God.
Oh my god.
Honestly, I'm gonna
Please.
save that for later.
Lower. Yeah. No, wait, no. Spawn it in, and just lower the size of it.
Well, there's two kinds of chicken. There's normal chicken, and then there's war chicken.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, use War Chicken, lower the size of it. And that looks exactly like the picture for Battle.
I'm gonna bring in the two cultist dudes.
Get out of here.
Ooh, look at them. I have them saved over. So one guy is here, one guy is here.
Hold on.
And he's gonna bicycle kick.
Hold on, wait. I got this.
Damn. Alright, so
Wait.
give me an agility check. +2.
That is a 9 plus whatever.
Oh my dear lord.
Where did Battlecock go?
So what is it?
Did he
Is
go
the
into the fog of war?
So that means that he got a 9 plus 2. He's got an 11 d8. Oh, here it is.
So you want me to just roll 11d8?
Yep. Or I can do it. Either one.
Let's see what 11d8 amounts to. That is 57.
Oh my god. So you roll 570 damage.
100.
So he,
Oh my
so
god.
Valakok leaps from your arms, flutters in the air, and turns this man's upper body into a red paste. He's very dead. Jesus, he's scary. Oh my god. Okay, so that's his turn. So now we're up to just
The cult.
the enemies. So this one guy, having seen his friend get turned into a pulp by a literal chicken, he's a chicken. He's going he's going to run around. Oh Jesus!
Oh Jesus. Did not mean for that to
My
happen.
lord. He's going to run around the table and try to stab Battlecock with his
Oh
sword.
god.
Now can he dodge? He can make dodge checks, so he can dodge this.
But wait, he can't get attacked, I thought.
Well, that is true. He does have basically like force him to like make a check to see if he can even attack him. So I'm gonna do that. He rolled a 1. No, he saw his friend get murdered, but he cannot bring himself to hurt Battlecock. He's just too cute. He physically he just can't do it. He can't. So that's his turn. Now we're up to Demon Man.
Xuzoxen.
Alright, so I think I'm going to pass my turn because everything I do either requires prep or is lethal. Probably both.
Okay.
And I don't have my
So-
sidearm, so.
Who would like to go first?
Well, you're closer, I guess. Like, so you can walk up behind him. So, we'll say you go first.
He's still like tranced by battle, right?
Yes, he cannot. Well, he can't hurt Battlecock. He can hurt you. He just can't hurt the chicken.
Oh wait, I also forgot I have that attack.
Also, I'm going to add a thing.
Going to use my rail lock. And shoot him. Foot.
Okay, we'll say
So
that.
I'm gonna like walk. I'm gonna like walk around.
Yeah,
Aim down at his heel.
at his
Bang.
heel.
Yeah.
So you want to
And
do
not
non-lethal
kill him.
damage.
Huh?
You want to do like non-lethal damage, essentially.
Yes, basically that's my goal. I'm not saying it's gonna work, but it's my.
Well, okay, sure. Roll 5d100.
Oh, okay.
'Cause
I'm pretty sure if you blow his foot off, he's not gonna live.
yeah, he's.
No. Def. How many D100?
5.
It could be all 10.
But then you're gonna turn his leg into like a mist. So
Fine. It's totally fine. It'll be totally okay. And 280.
You shoot this man in the heel, and you blow his lower leg off. He goes flying over the table and dies.
You were
It
saying?
could be all 10. It could have been all 10. Could have been.
Yeah, so combat's over.
Oh, I'm going to inspect the kind of garb that they are wearing.
They are wearing black. Oh yeah, yes. You may roll a
7.
7. Okay. Yeah, so they are wearing black like potato sack robes, um, with a strange symbol on the front of it. That I like. You literally cannot really like fully comprehend. Um, it looks to be like a wheel with like a circle in the middle of it.
I'm gonna call in Boston.
Alrighty. He walks over to the guy who flew across
I'm
the
gonna
room
I'm gonna I'm gonna place this guy's body.
on the table.
Have you seen anything like this?
Sure, I can make an intelligence check. 3. He goes, well, the symbol appears marginally familiar. I believe I may have encountered it in my occultism studies about some rather interesting characters in the history of occultism, but I don't know what it correlates to.
All right. Well, I suggest we split up. Demon Man, you go with Battle Talk. Go search northwest side of this underground compound. Take the southwest side.
I mean,
Uh,
running.
Bostonbrook, you take. I'll go by the area we came in. All the there. Boston, take the far west.
I mean, like splitting up the party and having multiple combats at the same time is kind of a gross idea.
All right, so then we'll fine. We'll start at the far west side. We'll
Alrighty.
start by where we came in.
Yeah.
Our way back around.
Okay. So, are you gonna search in here and in here and in, or like where? Where are you going?
First things, not gonna now.
Okay.
We're gonna
Go there. Okay.
go.
That area. Let me look at my map. 23. Okay. So you walk through down this like short corridor, and there are 2 closed doors on either side.
I'm going to whip out my lighter for a bit of light.
All right, you have your lighter out and stuff, holding it up for light.
I'm gonna drive.
Inside this small little like cubby is a closed wooden coffin.
All right. What? Say screw it. Do a lot of things. Now
Mm-hmm.
try the coffin.
You're gonna open the coffin.
Depending on what I find inside, is getting.
Okay, so you open the coffin, and you find the decomposing body of some unknown person. However, they do have a series of those similar, like, corruptive cuts along their body.
I'm closing it, or I'm gonna burn the body and close it, and then shut the door behind me.
Okay, yeah, you incinerate the whole coffin, turn it to ashes in a couple of seconds because it's a powerful lighter, and then you close it behind you.
I'm gonna yell for Griff.
Hmm?
I'm gonna yell for boss.
He rushes into the corridor.
Containment issue.
So you want
I
him
think
to start
they're
like
throwing.
Okay. So,
Get back up topside.
so you want him to get back up from outside?
No. Take care of the asset first. How many there are? Dealing carefully. Call them now. That could tip them off. After we get through here and get back up, then we call them. Let them think that we're still down here.
Okay. So our current goal is to just escape?
Yes.
Alrighty. Are you going to leave the other coffins in these rooms alone?
For now,
Okay.
yeah.
Alrighty.
We will burn this property down. Spare magical items.
Alrighty. So, do we move on into this room then?
Yeah.
Okay. That room is room number 27. Okay. It is a large room with like a long wooden table and some benches. There are some goblets and plates of half-finished food, but nobody's in here. It appears to be just like their like cafeteria.
Okay. I'm going to. I want to move like to over here. Vicious. Yeah. So, I'm gonna like tap on the wall a bit.
You want to tap on the wall.
See if I can. That's a sus one. Sus-
Yeah. So
Why is there just
tap
like
on the
a
wall and you
area over-
hear like hollowness on the outside, on the other side.
Now, does anybody have an ability that can wall?
Back in what?
Anybody have an ability that can down a wall?
I mean, life limit could probably cut through it.
I mean,
Yeah, we
I could blow it up,
wall.
but that would be
The
loud.
wall, but not the. That is true.
Well, I did give you in your inventory, which is the bag over here, the brown bag. There's a coin in here. I'm taking it out, and it's a vial of stone melting acid. You have 3 more uses of it, so you can use one of the uses to melt this wall.
I will definitely.
Alrighty. So it's got 2 uses left in it now. You can put it back in your inventory. Yeah, that's the.
I have like my standard.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, you melt a hole in that wall, and you enter into a very small, cramped room. You can take a ladder down, and at the bottom of
That's
this
down?
ladder, so there's like a staircase across the little area, and there's a small pedestal, in the right before this staircase, and it is it has a random magical item that I'm going to now generate.
D60. Let me roll the
Okay.
D60.
Let's see. Yep.
This is what we. This is what we have this for.
Okay, I have these things. I need to get a D10, D10. Roll it.
Oh, say I rolled.
Get a 3. Ah, okay. There is an amulet on this pedestal.
Alright, so I'm gonna go. Walk over, try to do what kind of power.
So you want to touch the amulet.
No. Well, like
Like, what's the? You're gonna examine the pedestal or the amulet?
I'm gonna examine the amulet.
Okay.
Touch.
It's a
Try to sense.
well. It is. The amulet is magical. The pedestal is magical. And the amulet is a golden circle uh, with a boxing glove made of ruby in the center of it. What was that you got?
I did an 8 on either intelligence.
To do what?
Try to identify
Okay. Um,
whether it is
the
help someone.
magic it's giving off um, appears to be strength magnifying magic.
Oh, I can get a name of this is
Hmm?
me. No. So I'm gonna pick it up, not put it on.
So you try to touch the amulet without dispelling the pedestal.
I also know that.
Um, you reach onto the pedestal, touch the amulet, and then a series of um, black lightning bolts shoot from the runes around the pedestal and zap you for 70 damage.
Oh, Mr. Demon Man. I'm gonna need help spelling.
What do you need me for?
I need you to help me dispel.
Okay, I mean, if I use my magic sense, what exactly in this room is trapped?
The pedestal itself appears
The
to be booby
pedestal.
trapped.
Okay.
I need your help to dispel it.
I mean, do you need me to dispel it, or can I just like break the pedestal? Because I can also do that.
I don't know if we can break.
Seeing as there are runes over it, you think either one will work.
Let's try dispelling this.
All right. What kind of check is
I'm
that,
going
Dakota?
I'm going to
That
actually,
would be just an
yeah, I'm gonna
intelligence
use.
check, I guess.
I got a nat one.
I got a 5
So, Xavier also
on
takes that
my
damage because he
on
go.
my ritual magic. I got a.
You can ritually dispel it. Yeah. You take 80 damage. Oof.
Yikes.
And you can't regenerate from that, which is fun times.
Oh,
Not unless I get a
I
demon.
can't regenerate from that either.
So yeah, so you go, okay, I'll dispel it for you, and you just like try to grab the amulet again and get zapped. With a 5 on your intelligence, about 5 minutes later, Van Helsing has basically he just takes his like rapier and carves a deep gash into every one of the runes, and the magic goes away.
I'm
I
using ritual magic, not rune magic.
Well, runic
I
is
should have
runic
just
magic.
broke the pedestal. It would have been so
No, I
much
was
simpler.
using ritual
Yes,
magic.
it would have been.
Possess knowledge of ability to perform complicated sets of tasks and rituals, powerful feats of magic that are too strong and potent to use as spell. Uh, consequences of failure. Like,
Right. So yeah.
symbol.
So you just dispel the magic on this pedestal, and you can now have access to the amulet safely without
I'm
zapping
gonna,
yourself.
gonna, gonna pick it up. Very style.
You're breaking up. What was it?
I said I'm gonna pick it up very Indian. time.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so you pick up the amulet. It
Like,
is for
yoink.
sure magical.
So upon picking it up, do I feel like a difference?
You can feel the magic from it, but it's not like just holding it does something to you.
I'm gonna like look towards Bostonbrook. They hid this from us. And I'm gonna continue holding it. Move down the hallway here.
So you move through. You see that this is a secret door as well. So you hit a panel on the wall and it slides across. And you are now staring into a shrine room.
Oh,
It's
Mm.
a pretty big room. I'm gonna roll a dice really quickly. My favorite number,
while
yay.
you're doing that, I'm gonna like whistle for them to come down here.
Yeah, so we all file in after.
Bad Akash here.
There are four people. Let me get the four people. That would be helpful.
Oh God. Looks like I'm gonna be putting on this amulet, guys.
And they are worshiping a large statue in this little stone alcove. Now, the stone statue appears to depict something that makes your head hurt when you look at it, except for X. He's unfazed.
Is it Cthulhu?
No, but
Okay.
it is like a gigantic.
Something similar.
Well, not quite. It appears it's first of all it's made of obsidian. It's a giant obsidian statue, and it appears to be a gigantic eyeball.
Oh.
That is like surrounded by tentacles and stuff. And if you look at it for a couple seconds too long, it appears to start moving. But if you blink again, it isn't moving at all, actually.
Okay, so I'm not going to get it fall and being affected.
Uh,
I'm going to put on that.
you put on the amulet. Okay, so you put on the amulet, and it makes you do 2 times bare hands damage, which for you would now be 2d100, I believe, instead of 1.
Nice. Very nice.
That was an item pretty much made for but like it's fine.
He'll get it eventually. It's my turn.
And you do 1d6 times. Okay, so you do. No, 2 bare hands. So you would now do 2d6 times 10 damage. So you can do a max of 120, which is pretty good.
First things first. I'm the realist. I'm gonna run up, cold clock this guy.
You're gonna. So these guys are bowing and chanting and praying to this statue. They're doing their own thing. They're being chill. And all of a sudden, the wall opens up, and this dude straight up runs out and cold cocks him right across the side of it. Okay.
I'm running up and just hitting this guy with a haymaker.
So, give me those 2d6 for me. Because he's not going to dodge it because he didn't see it coming, so.
Time for me to Mike Tyson these fools.
Are you just gonna fist fight a room of cultists?
Yeah, sure, why not? Feel free to jump in.
You.
How much?
I have to make a check for this guy now, actually. Okay, he is still conscious, but barely, and they all turn to face us. Now we get to roll initiative again.
Right. Oh yeah!
So you get
Alright, I rolled for both of my guys.
5 and an 8.
So GVH, he gets an 8 and a 5. So that becomes a 13. Okay, what does
Oh, yeah.
Wizard Man roll?
X rolled a 10, Battlecock rolled an 8.
Wow. Okay. At 10, your agility is a 5. Not a 5.
4, I think.
14. Battlecock rolled an 8. You said.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 16. Bostonbrook, he rolls a 3. He gets a 7. Well, he's not on the ball today. And the villains.
Cultist number.
The villains roll a wow.
Oh.
Okay, they get a 6.
All right.
Who boy?
This is gonna
Some of us are really not on the ball right now.
It's gonna be a slaughter fest.
So Battlecock goes first.
so
So roll for his
Battlecock.
personality.
He's also at the end of this.
Battlecock rolled a 3.
He rolled a 3. Okay, that should be one of the masters as well. Let me see. Yes. So he can use any of those abilities as you wish.
Alrighty, let me check on Battlecock's martial arts skills. Do-do-do. Can't use that. Alright, so Battlecock is gonna charge into the room. I guess up to the second guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. And he is going to use Foot of the Tiny Dragon. Because why not?
Okay. This dude's gonna try to dodge this.
He rolled an
Foot of
8
the
strength.
Tiny dragon.
Well, the guy managed to. What,
Dodge.
okay, yes, okay, yeah. So the strength check got an 8. He got a. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'd say agility roll.
yeah, so the cultist manages to duck out of the way as Battlecock's foot begins to glow bright as he attempts to roundhouse kick this dude in the face, but he dodges underneath him and is safe. Now we go to Wizard Man.
Oh wait. X. X.
So it's Wizard Man.
Who's next?
Wizard Man.
You.
Oh, it's my turn. Alright. Well, in that case, I quickly look over to Van Helsing, since last time I acted, he, threatened my life. So I'm gonna say, can I just smoke all these guys? Pretty please?
Well, I'm in the way.
Can I smoke all these guys if I move you out of the way?
I have to wait till my.
I can just walk in front of you.
I mean, right.
He can just walk over here. This is literally a force 1, 2, 3. Hey, you get to be right here.
Well, this guy's almost unconscious, so if we keep him alive.
Alright, what if I shoot everyone else in the room?
That works.
Alright, so I'm gonna use pick 6.
Okay, and you can hit 3 of them.
You know, my signature spell.
So that's going to be 3.
And 3, okay. That's a 3, 10, and a 3.
So you hit with all of those, but you get double damage for one of them. Let's see. Pick 6. Because you do 2 D100 damage per one of those shots. So I can.
Alright, so first one is 120.
Dead.
Second one is what is that, 140?
Double 280. He's dead.
Third one is 110.
Dead.
Alright.
So we only have this poor guy left, and now it's Jason Van Helsing's turn.
I'm going to grab him, lift him up, press him against the wall. Try to
Interrogate him. Okay. Make a charisma with advantage for me.
especially with this.
The 8.
Oh,
Okay. So, what do you ask him? What do you want to know?
well, first off, what are you worshiping?
Um, so you ask him, what is he worshiping? And he goes, we worship the only variable.
Explain.
Um, he goes, there's only one true variable. All things are change. Change is good. Yeah. He seems pretty much bonkers.
Well, it looks like we're not gonna knock him out. Um,
Anything else?
nope. That's it. We're gonna knock him out and then
Wait.
make him discuss it.
Oh,
I'm gonna very quickly take a look at this guy.
yeah.
Is it someone I know?
Um, make a just a luck check. Just a D10.
2.
What's your luck, buddy? Let's see. Your luck is 4. No, you don't know him.
Well, anyways, knowing that I don't know him, I say, I should introduce you to my friend Jerry. I think you'd really like him.
Do you say it to the cultist?
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn sharp.
He's still being pinned to the wall by Hellsing, but kind of like turns his head a little bit, and he's like, Jerry, what does he worship?
Oh, he's like a connoisseur of, fine occultism. He kind of fickle sometimes. He goes around from place to place, from temple to temple. Oh, all right, fine, I guess.
I'm gonna just the wrist of the head. Just bonk.
You're just gonna knock him out? Alright, yeah, you can just knock him out. There we go. You've now got an unconscious cultist with you.
All right, we're just gonna one.
And now, out of combat is officially over.
Very nice, very nice. I'm gonna take off the amulet now. I don't think it's well suited for my style. I'm gonna give it to Bostonbrook to wear.
Oh no. Okay. So you give it to him. He puts it on. Sure. Why not?
Because I want anybody but Battlecock to have it.
What's wrong with Deathclock having the amulet?
I'm gonna let Bostonbrook keep it, and I'm going to place him under a promise that he will never remove the amulet.
Okay. He now does a lot of damage with his bare. He does 2d100 damage with his bare hands. That's.
Hey, you know what? You know what? I'll take those odds.
Yeah, so he does 2d4 times 10 normally, and then with life limit he does 2d100. So that's pretty.
So now, Bostonbrook is now under this binding promise to never take off the amulet. That is exactly what I wanted.
Well,
Battlecock will never have the amulet.
Oh, so you think?
Unless he dies. If he dies, then hey, that's a dead body to loot, but by binding of life promise, can't
well,
take it off.
Bostonbrook would just be like, I mean, I don't really need this magic amulet. I have like 5 of them at home, but like whatever. Alrighty. So
You can't take this one off.
what room are we going to next?
Finding
Go in here. Or what are we gonna do with the unconscious cultist?
or just leave him
Okay.
there and lock him in.
All right. So we're all gonna file into here. That room is 33. Okay. Let me get my pieces again. There are four
This is
dudes
constant.
around this table, and they're all playing cards.
Music cards against humanity.
Sure.
Gonna. I have
So
Yes.
how are we gonna handle this situation?
gonna keep up with the idea of running up on and you story weaver.
Okay. So yeah, they can dodge this. They're gonna try to dodge.
I'm gonna run up and, like, stab this.
He rolled a 10, so he dodges.
I've got to do my.
So let's roll initiative again. The enemies, they get 15. Wow. Okay.
5. I got 10.
You get a 5 plus 5, so you get a 10.
I can't believe I just I have seduction.
Bostonbrook, he rolls 3 plus 4 is.
Oh wow. He's got a 7 again.
Wow, I rolled bad on initiative for once.
Wow. What did
Roll.
Battleclaw get?
Battleclaw got a 2, Wizard got a 4.
Wow.
4 plus 4 is. Wow. Yeah, we're all slow today.
He used the
I'm
power
gonna
energy in the last
I
fight.
took off the amulet and I was like, man,
Yeah, it's.
I don't
Okay.
feel as high as the
So
amulet.
the
be.
cultists go first. Well, since this guy got attacked, he's just gonna pull out a pistol and just try to shoot you.
Wow. How anticlimactic.
And he hits you. You can, I think, dodge ranged
Wait,
attacks, can't you?
wait, I can interrupt
Yes,
and
you
I
can.
can
I think you can dodge. It'll say
wait.
in your, like racial trait if you can dodge ranged. Let's see. And yes, you can't dodge it. Okay.
But
You don't
wow.
dodge.
So it like clips my arm.
uh,
But you're not giving me the chance to interrupt his attack.
yeah, you can interrupt it if you want. Yeah.
I wanted to do that.
Okay, so that is
I can outright cancel it, or I can.
yeah. Yes, it requires an agility check.
What my
Interrupt, yeah.
other
So is this 3 the agility check?
no, that was dodge.
Okay.
I interrupt. Ooh,
So So this guy draws goes to draw his pistol. And
Wait,
you just kind of grab
wait.
his wrist. Like,
Oh, I was gonna say I do the thing. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Why not? I grab his.
it's like keep him from firing at you.
That leads up into
This guy.
either Battlecock or.
Well, these guys have to go as well. So this guy, he's going to just try to he's got a little dagger. He's gonna try to stab warlock demon
Man.
who can dodge this, by the way.
Alright.
Pretty
Alright.
You got
I don't think I dodged.
No, okay, great.
I got a 3.
Got a 3. Yeah, that's yeah, okay. This only does 1 damage, so you're pretty lucky.
Still might kill me though.
Wow, he got.
Oh wow.
10 bear
10
damage.
damage.
Alright.
Down to 60 health.
Too bad you can't interrupt an attack once per.
This other cultist is going to try to shoot Hellsing. He misses. The final one is also going to try to shoot Hellsing, and he also misses. Great.
Nice.
Now we're up
I'm
to
gonna-
Battlecock or Jason.
I've got a plan,
Mm-hmm.
and Battlecocks are always so correct. So what I'm gonna do is stab this guy and use him as a body,
Okay, so you want to stab this dude.
and then rotate him to block any.
Okay. So he's gonna.
So
try
it's
to
gonna be a
dodge.
vital.
Wow.
No, I'm holding him. Holding him.
Yeah. I'll say disadvantage then. He couldn't possibly roll 2 10s in a row, could he? He still dodges, but not as well. This guy's
So
nimble.
does that? Oh my god. I am holding him in place.
Well, you didn't take the grapple action. You just stopped him from drawing his gun.
Then I'm gonna take the grapple act.
Okay, so that requires an agility on your part versus agility on his part, and you add your agility stats. He gets yeah, you beat him by 1. So yeah, he's grappled.
So I'm now I grab him by the throat.
Yeah, and now you can hit him without having to worry about anything.
I'm going to turn him around, stab him.
All right, that would be the 2d100 damage.
I'm not gonna drop him.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
70. He might be unconscious though.
He is.
Yes. He is unconscious but still alive.
So I stab him right. Use him as the body. Come on, buddy. Block all of my bullets. You're gonna be the body to my gun.
Alrighty. Now we go to Battlecock's turn.
Battlefield.
Alright, do I have to roll for his thing?
Yeah.
Alright, that's 5. Which is a Marshall?
Yeah.
Marshall.
Alright. Let's see. Battlecock does not really have AoE, so
Nope.
Does not have AoE. That's
Not
I
really.
guess he's just gonna use bicycle kicks.
Sure.
That's 10d8 with what I rolled.
Oh my god. Plus 2 is 12d8.
Well, no, 10d8 with the plus 2.
Oh, okay. Do you want to roll that or should I roll that?
44.
440 damage. To this man. He is so dead. He pulverizes him. Now we are
Okay.
up to warlock boy.
Hmm.
Warlock.
Let me see what I want to do. I don't have my sidearm, and it's very disappointing. I could
I don't give you the time of day.
transform so I could heal, but I feel like that might be a waste. So, all right, I'm gonna use hemopsychostatus here on one of the cultists.
You know what?
Oh boy. Well,
Well,
let me check something. It might not work.
Wait, what is
actually, that might already be insane.
Well, are you? What's your sanity? 0 or is it 3?
I think it's 3.
So you have the same sanity as these
What's
guys.
happening right now?
So it wouldn't do anything.
No.
What's happening right now?
Nothing.
So hemopsychostatus here.
Nothing important.
Yeah, in case you're.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
I won't tell anything if you know.
Stop on my red.
All right. Well, I'm going to retreat into the hallway because I have like no health.
Okay, so yes, you retreat into the hallway, cowering behind your chicken man. He'll protect you. Okay.
Bostonbrook.
Are you not gonna use an action this turn? Not gonna. Are you gonna prepare a spell?
Let me see. What's supposed to even happen that I could use before everyone dies?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing. I mean, I guess if I would one turn, I could like bomb them, but I would affect damage
Yeah.
everyone else in the room.
I've
So
got a body shield, so I'm good.
yeah, but what about Bostonbrook?
That is
Well,
none of
actually,
my
it's
concern.
a 2x2 square, so that could hit these 4 and get the 2 remaining cultists. But that would require waiting another turn, and I don't know if.
Oh wait a minute!
Survive.
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hold on. Let me send you what I'm gonna prep.
Sure. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, I got you. I got you. Okay.
I don't like this level.
Then we come to Bostonbrook. Bostonbrook, seeing weird warlock man do some weird stuff. Oh my. Well, next time X's turn comes around, there's gonna be some interesting gonna happen. So Bostonbrook, seeing him start to prep something, and see like the magic or radiation start to pop up, he's going to. I want this combat turret to stay active for another turn. He's gonna take a. He's gonna take a. He's gonna shoot at this cultist with a pistol. He hits him for 2d100 damage. And he kills him. Okay, now we're back up to the enemies, who are going to try to. Well, he knows that you're injured, so he's going to try to attack at Bostonbrook to try to get to you, and he's gonna stab at Bostonbrook. So he's gonna dodge this.
No, wait. That guy had a gun.
Well, that guy didn't have a gun. He's just gonna shoot him. Bostonbrook can't dodge that, actually. And he's point blank range, so it's guaranteed hit. This could kill
I
Bostonbrook.
forgot I've got a med.
Bam. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. 120 damage to defend the Bostonbrook.
Oh,
He needs to make an
Fuck.
endurance to stay alive. Okay. He's conscious, but at 30 health right now. So that's not
so
gonna be
he gets
pleasant.
shot in a very vital.
Yeah, he shot him like square in the chest. Big injury.
I'm gonna guy on my throwing block using my arms.
After yeah, so yes, we give you each indoor battle cock. So he has.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do, Jason Hellsing?
Like I said, I'm gonna hold this guy steady,
Mm-hmm.
pull out my rail lock,
Mm-hmm.
aim on this guy's head, and use this guy's shoulder as aim fire.
Okay, make the perception check.
Do I get? I have a Zirconian.
Yeah.
Do I get this at advantage?
Pardon?
Do I get it at advantage?
Uh,
I'm using
no.
the guy's shoulder.
Because rail pistol is already recoilless. But you pass
Oh
anyway.
yeah.
And we'll get you your 5d100. There you go.
So sorry. Certainly. $110.
He is dead.
Dunzo.
But Boston
Sorry.
is very, very badly injured, and it's time to roll for unconsciousness. He's still fighting through.
Still going. So I'm gonna take this guy. Let him. I have a med kit.
Well, you can. Well, Bostonbrook, he's gonna grab his sword, which makes him regenerate. So I'm gonna give him 1 round of regeneration. 1d6 times 10.
See Bostonbrook. Let
60 health. That's pretty
Hey.
good. So he has 90 now. He's
Max-
not gonna die.
those his.
He will regenerate every room we enter, essentially. If so, every
Well,
combat turn, so long as he holds his sword.
It's time to be outside.
So that combat over.
Done.
Well, I still have that spell.
Oh, do you use it on this guy?
The guy he used as a meat shield is still up, right?
Yeah, he's
Barely.
unconscious but alive. Technically, yeah.
Alright, I guess I just use it on him.
Okay, so
What's happening?
so JVH shoots this last cultist, blows his head off, and then from around the corner, Warlock Man walks in, makes eye contact with this dude, and
Who was unconscious?
immediately he's replaced with a babbling midget. I'm gonna find
I hate.
a character art for a babbling midget. Actually, is there a gnome in here? There are gnomes in here. Perfect. Yeah. Actually, no. This one looks nice.
An unconscious babbling gnome.
Yes.
Is that what I'm led?
Yeah, so he is
Unconscious.
um,
Babbling no.
still unconscious. Yeah. But he is now suddenly, instead of like a 5'10" man, he's like a 3.5 foot tall, short
Babbling
gnome.
midget.
Yeah, who is. I mean, if you are conscious, he'd be babbling, but he's not conscious, so he's not babbling. So that's okay.
I'm gonna leave that back.
Well,
Like in a very just
he's unconscious. So where are we gonna go now? What room we're going into next?
right. Are these up or down?
Those are down. The only way is down. I'm gonna make that very
All
clear.
right. Well, fine. Then the only way is down.
All right.
Whatever.
We appear over here.
Okay. Good.
And we're nearing the end
Fairly-
of this session.
Okay. There we go. All right. So let's move up into the first room.
All right, the first room. Let me find my player, my DM map. That room is 35. Okay. Room number 35 is the crypt. It is completely empty. But there are like bodies and little statues embedded into the walls, like a Nordic crypt or like catacombs, like from like Skyrim.
Ah, fine. Oh. You gotta get out of here. Get out of here.
So you're gonna go into this room. Okay, so you're here. So as we enter into this watery chamber,
Yeah.
there is a large open room with 4 foot deep water running all around here, and there is a blood covered altar on this pedestal in the center here. And there is a man in black robes wielding a dagger over the dead body of a JPCU agent. He's chanting something in an unknown language.
No one listens.
So I'm gonna get my special character piece over here.
What? What? What is it? Yeah. Just
So yeah, how are we gonna react to this? He's chanting an unknown language.
first thing I'm doing is take a shot.
So you're gonna shoot him. Did I get that right?
Either that or I'm casting something.
Okay, so take a perception check to shoot him.
So,
7. That's pass. Roll the 5d100.
hey, maybe I'll kill.
Sorry, buddy.
100?
What was that number?
140.
140. Okay. So he is dead.
Hey, look at that.
Hmm. He'll walk to the room, just blows off his head. One shot.
Pretty much.
Jason Van Helsing, very much beyond all kinds of trickery, nonsense right now. He is at his wits.
Yeah, so this dude, he's chanting over the dead body. Helsing just walks in, 4 foot deep water, sloshing through, raises a gun, blasts him. He's dead. And as he dies,
Falls into the water.
he like collapses, rolls down the stairs into the water. Um, but unfortunately, it appears that he completed the ritual enough, and a rift in reality opens up, and from it pours a creature that looks very similar to the one you fought in the morgue, except it's bigger and appears to be fully grown. Feel free
Guys.
to roll initiative while I find words
Guys.
for this.
Yeah.
Got a problem. 5.
Ooh.
So you get a
10.
5, so you get 10, yeah. What did
May or may
Wizard
not.
and Battlecock roll?
X is 10. Battlecock is 7.
Oh, thank
So
God.
7 plus 8 is 15. X got a 10, so he gets a 14. Bostonbrook, don't roll a 7 again. Hey, he got a
Oh!
14.
Hey yo. Is he
And
still
then-
holding his sword?
Yeah. No, he gets a 15 then, actually. Or no, if he's
We're going off of agility.
yeah, if he's holding his sword, his agility is 7. He's a 17 actually,
Hey.
because he's a fast boy. And the enemies
3.
3, and that
Very
makes
nice.
that number a 7.
Very nice.
Wow. Okay.
Got a
So up
clear
first is
cut progression.
Bostonbrook, but I need to find a suitable piece for this monster.
Cthulhu. Go with Cthulhu. Eventually, we're gonna fight Cthulhu, but right now,
Eventually, we'll fight Cthulhu.
they're actually a
This one
Cthulhu.
work? This one might work. You know what? Yeah, not this one. This one will work. Where did he spawn it? Did he spawn it at all? Gosh darn it.
Oh no.
Um.
Oh, why didn't you use this one for Austin?
Oh yeah, because he's the transformed guy. So I will swap him out. So there we go. Boom. And then I'm gonna make this guy black.
Oh my
Bam.
God.
Okay,
Figured.
he is here. Now then, Bostonbrook charges into the room like a madman. He runs through. He's got 7 agility, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, he can make it. And he's going to slash at this monster. That cannot dodge him, so he gets 5d100 damage. Right off the bat.
That's taste.
Ooh, he almost kills it.
Oh my God.
So he slashes this thing. I forgot how OP his sword is. So he
And it expands.
he drives his sword right into this what looks to be like the chest area.
Oh
but you
wait,
only
don't
get-
forget he's also the amulet.
Yeah, but he's not bare hands damage, is it?
Okay, I'll just be here.
yeah, so he drives his sword deep into this thing's chest, and he swipes upwards, and he cuts like a giant, like one of like the tentacles off of it, and the tentacle rises in the water. Um, that's his turn. Now we're up to Battlecock's turn.
All right. Let me see. Is a 4? That's what, martial artist?
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. What is Battlecock gonna do to this thing?
And probably kill it.
Um.
I'm gonna say I have an idea if we haven't.
Battlecock is gonna run up and what is he gonna do? Is he gonna internal rupture? Sure, why not?
The non-morphic blob.
I mean,
It's gonna internal rupture the
would you rather I do that or the foot of the tiny dragon?
What are the tiny dragon? You've got a bigger target to hit.
All right.
intellect strength check.
7.
That's a pass. Okay, so Battlecock runs up, flutters over the top of the actually he can water walk. So okay, so we see as this chicken sprints across the surface of this water, jumps into the air, his foot, his chicken clawed foot glows bright gold as he strikes this thing clear in his many-eyed octopus
Face.
squid mouth face and does whatever. I think it's 3100 damage, right?
Let me roll. Uh, 110.
Yep, he kills this amorphous blob.
Hey.
Kicks its head, and in like a divine smite-esque, ear-shattering kaboom, the whole upper torso is like blasted across the room, and he's
So it's very much like the killing of Venom from Spider-Man 3.
yeah.
Okay, very nice. I like it. GG Battlecock. GG.
Indeed. And yeah, so that's the end of that combat. Didn't even.
Okay, now try
And
and
now,
find a way.
yeah, you're free to go about your business.
I'm gonna. All right. While everybody else is.
So this, make me a perception check really quick.
Seven. That was almost a one.
This appears to be a big old pile of bones.
Grand.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my cellular phone in a Ziploc or one of my specimen bags, and start trudging bones.
All right. So you collect some of these bones. Some of them are partially infected with this black ichor stuff. And then
I'm wearing gloves.
this is probably like a 10-foot tall pile of bones. And it ascends
Alright.
into a like conical tunnel, and there's sunlight that pops out from the other side.
This way.
I walk over and I pick up Battlecock and I begin to pet him.
Lovely.
One time I give Battlecock some ounce of respect.
Yeah, because he killed the amorphous blob.
You go ahead.
So yeah, we all walk up this big old pile of bones and appear just like in the backyard of the house we were just inside of.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'm gonna take out my phone that is in the Ziploc bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to make a call. ECU headquarters. Have them quarantine property owned by this man.
Okay, so you want to quarantine this
Quarantine and execute anyone on premises.
of this house
All premises.
of all the Chamberlain households.
Yes. We will investigate at a later date.
Okay. Okay, so you call McLafferty and you make that order, and she says, "Well, out of the like 2 dozen or so properties owned by Mr. Chamberlain, um, yeah, I think I can send some like soldiers and stuff to each of them, see how much we can clear out."
I'm giving the authority for a free fire. What's it called? Fire.
Like the free fire order, basically, to shoot whoever
Giving an
they
order
see.
for fire on site. Anyone that approaches or is in property.
Okay, so you give that order. You hang up the phone, and you're left in the backyard, the four of us of this house.
Time to finish this. Going to find that lawyer and the ground.
So do you run back into the house?
I'm storming back to the house because I am now living.
So you storm into the house.
I'm putting my sunglasses back on. I am storming in here, livid at.
So you storm into this house, and you look high and low. There's nobody here. You go out the front of the building and see that the fancy Mercedes Benz that used to be parked here is no longer parked out front.
Okay, well, let them know that I knew something was awry. Couldn't place my finger on it. Show them the pictures that I took from my investigation that I had found. I said I'm going to show them the pictures that I had taken before,
Yeah.
like let them know, like, yeah, I found stuff that had given me the inkling that something might have gone awry.
Okay. Cool. All right. So you showed them this stuff. You put out like an APB for the lawyer and the house keeper, who are both gone.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah.
Hold on, wait.
And limousine pulls back around the corner and to pick you up, and that's where we can end this session. So,
My.
yeah. So on that note, I believe we can finish out the first episode of this new campaign. It's gonna be good. I think it went well. All right, so
This is Jason Van Helsing placing an APB on anyone working at this premise. I don't know exactly their name. Like,
well, you knew the lawyer and the housekeeper's names.
yeah. I just don't know them off the top. They're not.
Yeah. It was Wesley Brewer and Maurice Brown.
Yeah, those people. Those people.
Yeah. So you put out the APB up for them.
All right. Nice. Good session. I like it. I like it so far.
So do you want to do the outro?
Well, yeah, sure. Why not? Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're testing out a bunch of new stuff, so it is going to be quite the ride. So thank you guys so much for joining. If you want to subscribe, drop subscribe down, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, leave a like, comment, whatever. And we will see you next time on Quest for the Core.
All right.